explain it on the tape, okay?
Okay, ready? Okay.
My name is Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney in New York County. It's now 20 of 7 in the morning on April 21st of 1989, and we are at the 24th Precinct. I'm about to ask you some questions about what happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989. Before I do that, I'm going to advise you of your rights with respect to this. You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind putting your hand away from me? Thanks. Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning and have a lawyer present during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided to you now free of charge before any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that I've advised you of these rights, are you willing to tell me the truth about what happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th, 1989?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just say before I start, I told you what my name is. This is Detective Arroyo. And I think you've seen the detective before. He's with the New York City Police Department. Also present in the room is a video technician. And you can see the camera, and there's a tape recorder. We are videotaping and tape recording the interview so that we can get down exactly what you say and exactly what I say. Okay?
Yes.
You understand? Would you please state your name?
Clarence Thomas.
Okay. And how old are you?
14.
Also present in the room is a woman to your left. Who is that?
My mother.
Ma'am, would you please state your name?
My name is Gloria Thomas.
And where do you live? And are you Clarence Thomas's mother?
Yes.
Let me just ask you, I know it's been a sort of long night. You've been given something to eat during the night?
I was offered, but I refused.
But you didn't want anything?
Yes.
But somebody offered to give you something
Yes.
to eat? And how are you feeling? A little tired?
Yes.
But other than that, you're feeling okay?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we start? I'm going to ask you to start by telling me, where do you live? Okay. And do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
CLC.
CLC?
Yes.
What's that?
Creative Learning Community.
And are you in a grade there? Or?
Yes, 9th.
Ninth grade. Why don't you start by telling me what happened on the night of April 19th, and I'll stop and interrupt you if there's something I don't understand. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you start by telling me what happened?
It began, I was walking down 110th in Madison with one of my friends, Antron.
All right, let me just ask you. You speak English. You seem to have no trouble speaking English. Excuse me just a second. Right. I'm sorry. You speak English?
Yes.
And you've understood what I read you?
Yes.
You understood the rights that I read you?
Yes.
Did you make a statement to the police earlier? Were you interviewed by a Detective McCabe and a Detective
Yes.
Hildebrand? And did they give you the rights before you made a statement to them?
Yes.
And you voluntarily made a statement to them after they
Yes.
gave you the rights? Was your mother present at the time that you made that statement?
Yes. Never did. Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Why don't you start and tell me?
Okay, it began on 110th of Madison. I was with a friend named Antron McCrae. As we were walking, we saw a group of boys. It was about 12 of them. And Antron knew most of them, so we went up to them.
Let me just stop you for a second. Antron McCrae, is he a good friend of yours?
Yes.
And how long have you known him?
Since 5th grade.
And how long had you been, at what time was it when you were with him?
Yeah, about 8 o'clock, I would say.
You ran into some people when you were with him?
Yes.
Do you know the names of any of those people?
A couple of them I know.
Who do you know?
I know a boy named Trev and a boy named Lamont.
Was that Lamont McCall?
Yes.
And what's Trev's name?
That's what we call him, Trev.
Do you know his last name?
No.
Were you with someone named Al?
Yes, he was in a group.
Okay, is that Al Morris?
I don't know his last name, probably.
Was there somebody named Polo?
Polo, yes.
What's Polo's real name?
That's all. I don't really know them that well, but that's what we call him.
Who else was in the group that you met?
A boy named Kevin.
Is that Kevin Richardson?
Yes.
Did you know him before that night?
only by face value.
Who else? Raymond Santana?
Yes, it was a boy named Raymond.
Had you known him before that night?
Nope. And there was a boy, I think Stephen.
Do you know Stephen's last name?
Nope.
Is that Stephen Lopez?
I believe so, yes, that's his last name.
Was there anybody named Bailey, whose last name was Bailey?
I don't know.
Okay. How many people were you all together?
When we got to the park?
Well, you said first you were with Antron and then you met some other people.
Yes.
And were you already in the park when you met those people?
No, we were on 110th and Madison.
Okay. How many were you when you were on 110th and Madison?
About 14.
Where did you go at that point?
Turned the corner and went in front of Schaumburg Plaza. And that's where I said Al, and we met Al and Kevin.
You met up with them at Schaumburg Plaza?
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody else with those two?
Nope. So I know. That's the only two I saw that came down from the ramp.
That's Kevin Richardson and Al Morse?
Yes.
All right. What happened then?
After that, we crossed the street and went to the the ending part of Central Park at 110th and 5th, I believe. Yes, and we walked through. And as we walked through, a couple of boys were throwing rocks at cars. That's when we hit the first road.
When you hit the first road?
Yes.
Do you know Central Park pretty well? Right. So when you walked in, were you walking on a big road when you first went into the park?
No, it was next to the man-made river.
Okay, so you were walking sort of through the woods?
Yeah.
Or describe where you were.
It wasn't through the woods. It was it's where the playground was, in the man-made river, and there's the regular walking way.
All right, so you were walking on a path there.
Yes.
And where did you go?
After that, we went through. That's when we went up. It was like 3 steps we went up, and there's still a path, and that's when we hit the first road.
And when you say you hit the first road, was that a big road? Is that the main road in the park?
I don't know if it was the main road, but it was pretty.
Would you say
wide.
it was like a 2-lane road or one way, 1 lane? So now for 2 cars to fit side by side, or
I'm trying
just?
to remember. I think so. I'm not
So
sure.
you're not sure?
No.
All right. Was there a curb on this road, or was it just
I remember just the road.
a road? So it was just like asphalt.
Yes.
Okay.
No, excuse me. What is asphalt?
That blacktop. You know, when they pave something, they put blacktop down.
Oh yes.
Is that what it was? It was just blacktop, no curbs, not a finished road. Is that what you think?
No, I think it was a finished road.
It was a finished road. Okay. You're walking on that road, and what happens?
A couple of boys began to throw rocks at cars.
Okay. Where are the cars in relation to where you're walking?
They're coming down the road, and so we're on each side of the road, and in the grass area, and that's when they began to throw rocks at a couple of cars that passed.
All right. Is the road? Are cars driving next to you, or are they below you?
Next to us.
Next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you throw something?
No.
Who threw something?
There was a couple. I didn't know most of them, but if I seen my face, I could pick one up.
Okay. Did they hit any of the cars?
A couple. Yeah.
And did the cars stop?
No. Well, there was no glass broken at that time.
And what happened next?
Then after that, we continued to walk through. We passed the road and we was walking through the grass area with the trees and stuff. And as we walked, we had then hit another road, and that's when we saw a bum, like a homeless person, I believe, so I'm not sure. And
Was it still the whole group that you had described before?
yes, it was pretty much all of us. And as we walked and saw the bum, one of the boys hit him in the back of the head, and he fell.
Okay. Let me just stop you. You say it was pretty much the same group. Did anybody leave that you knew from that group before you got to the bum?
No.
Right, so
Still together.
Kevin Richardson was still there, Raymond Santana was there, you were there, Steve Lopez was there, Lamont McCall was there. Was there somebody named Mike there?
The name sounds familiar. Probably so. That's like one of the names. I heard that name.
And Al Morris was still there?
Yes.
Was there anybody named Corey there?
Corey. Another name that sounds familiar. I believe so, yes.
Who hit the drunk or the bum?
Lamont.
Lamont hit him?
Yes.
And what did he hit him with?
His fist.
How did he do that? Did he come up from behind or
Behind.
from the front? And where did he punch him?
In the back of the head and the bum fell.
And where?
In the back of the head and the bum fell.
Okay. How many times did you see him hit him?
Once when he fell, and then Stephen began to kick him.
Stephen Lopez?
Yes.
The bum was lying in the road?
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else kick him?
No, I remember them pulling him up on the sidewalk. I remember that. Pulling him up on the sidewalk and lying there.
How many times did Steve kick him?
At least 3 times.
Did anybody else join in? Did anybody hit him or anybody else kick him?
It might have, but I just recall Lamont and Stephen hitting on him.
What were you doing?
I was watching.
What were the others doing? Richardson and Santana and Anton?
They were walking ahead, and that's when we climbed up these rocks, and that's when part of us split up. Because some went down the rocks like they was leaving the park, and we just kept on going.
Okay. Did anybody take anything from this bum?
I believe it was a brown paper bag that was.
Somebody take his food?
Yes, I think so.
Who was that?
It was a Puerto Rican. I didn't know his name.
What did he do with the food?
I don't know. I just remember him carrying around the bag. He's one of the ones that was acting, pretending to leave, but they still weren't late. We met them later on.
Anybody see if did anybody take any beer from this guy?
I remember something to drink that was taken. Probably was beer, but I'm not sure what it was.
Did you see what they did with the beer? Did you see somebody pour it on the bum?
I do remember something like that.
What do you remember?
I remember when he was down, one of them stood over him and poured. Yeah, I remember poured some beer on the bum. Somebody stood over him and poured beer on the bum. I remember that.
Was that while he was still on the road?
Yes.
Anybody do anything else to him?
After that, they dragged him.
Did they look in his pockets for any money?
Yes, they did.
Who did?
Stephen and the other Hispanic guy, you know what I'm saying?
Was the guy awake? Was he saying
Got it.
anything?
No.
Stephen and who?
Another Hispanic, I don't know his name. But I know his face value.
What happened next?
That's when we continued to go, walk to the park. And as I said, some of them had split up. And we kept on walking in.
Who split up?
Huh?
Who split up?
I don't know. I didn't know a lot of them, so but I know at least 5 of them split
Who
up.
was with you?
It was with me.
Yeah.
Alfred, Antron, kid named Jono.
Kid named what?
Jono.
Do you know his last name?
So I remember that was with me.
Was Raymond Santana with you?
Maybe. He might have, I don't remember. But he might have been one of the ones I went with the Hispanic who had stolen man's food. Because they stuck together kind of close.
Was the person who took the meal, was Tony? Was that a name that you...
Tony sounds familiar. It might have been him.
But you don't know?
No.
You don't know who Tony is?
No. The name sound like it was mentioned tonight.
Where did you go when you split up from those other guys?
We continued to walk. We passed that road.
Past what road?
We passed the road at the bum crossing where he was hit and beaten. We kept on walking. And we got to... Look out there. Kept on walking. And I believe. And we walked through. And then before we kept on walking. Somebody else threw, I think it was a bottle at a car. Then we kept on walking. And as we was walking...
Anybody throw rocks at cars?
Yes.
At that point?
No, at that point, no, before rocks was thrown. And we kept on walking, and we hit this kind of, like, there's a wall here, and there's the road here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me and a kid named Jono. 2 others I didn't know. So we went down the road, and then we climbed up the other side. And as we climbed up, kids, some other guys that was with us earlier came tagging along from the back. Came from the back and caught up to us.
Who were they?
A kid named T. I think his name was T-Bone, T. That's what I heard him call him. And the Hispanic guy, I didn't know his name. And I think Steven was with them. Raymond was also, man. Let me see, Raymond was with them, man. I don't know if I remember that came from that group that I knew. And we kept on walking.
Now, where were you walking? This was after you had crossed over the road?
Mm-hmm.
You climbed down a wall?
And climbed back up on it.
And crossed over the road and then climbed back up?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
As we were walking, we heard them like yelling from behind. And we kept on walking, and then they finally caught up. So as we walked...
Who caught up?
People else said T, Raymond, and Steve. Those are the members that came from that back group. I didn't know the other names. And as we were walking, we passed this, there was like a bridge there. I believe like a small little bridge there. And that's when we were now close to where I believe it was the reservoir. And
what did it look like?
It was a boy surrounded by a fence. And as we walked, we had seen a jogger. And one of them said, let's scare him. So as they went up to him, I think the jogger knew something was wrong because they all started crowding around him. And then the jogger said something like, you want to race? And he ran very fast, and some of them chased him. They couldn't catch him.
Where was the jogger running?
He was running close to the reservoir.
Right by the fence?
Yes.
And where were all these other people while the jogger was approaching?
Some of them were still like in the grass, like where the trees were, and they were like hiding, waiting for him to come. Then they would jump out.
They were hiding like they were in ambush?
Yes.
And were they being quiet so that you wouldn't hear them?
Yes.
So as he came along, what did he look like?
He was kind of tall. He had blonde hair, I believe. He was a Caucasian, and I can't think. I don't remember what kind of clothes he had. I believe they were shorts he had on, and a sweatshirt.
What happened as he got close?
As he got close, one of the kids yelled out to go get him now. And as they was
Who yelled out?
I don't know if it was like high behind the trees. And as they came out, that's when the jogger knew something was wrong, and then he mentioned something like he wanted to race, and he ran very fast and couldn't catch up to him.
Did people try? Did people run after him?
Yes, I think so.
Did you run after him?
No.
Why did you go to the park that night?
I was just following a friend.
Who was the friend?
Antoine McCrae.
And you just were going around with him?
Yes.
Did you smoke any crack that night?
No.
Did you do any drugs that night?
No.
Did you have any alcohol?
No.
Were you high in any way?
No.
So you were perfectly straight
Yes.
when you ran into the park? After that first jogger ran away, what happened?
He ran away and continued to walk. And
Where'd you walk?
he kept walking like in the grass area close to the reservoir. And as he walked...
In the grass area close to the reservoir?
Yes. We continued to walk. And that's when...
Where's the grass area close to the reservoir?
This grass area. There's like the fence, and there's like the pavement, and there's the grass after that.
Okay.
And we continued to walk, and that's when another jogger came. I was jogging very slowly, and at first they were saying don't bother him, he might be a cop, but he was jogging very slow, purely slow, and at first they didn't bother him. And as the boys, and then they just stopped for a while. And as Jogger, they was letting them go by, and then they continued to walk. They was walking behind them. And then all of a sudden, who hit them? Or who came? Can't think of it. That was a tall, dark-skinned fellow that came up to him. And that's when I began to leave the park.
I'm sorry, there's some noise outside. It makes it hard to hear you. I was trying to make it quiet outside. You were trying to remember, after the first jogger, then there was a second jogger, and you said he was sort of slow.
Yes.
And everybody had gone back into hiding.
Yes.
After the first jogger got away. And you were hiding too.
Yes, I could say that, yes.
Okay. So you were hiding, everybody was hiding, and then a second jogger started to come by.
Yes.
Now, what did you notice about the second jogger?
He was jogging very slowly. He was.
It was a he?
I know, I believe so. I couldn't really tell it was dark.
All right. Did anybody say anything when they saw him jogging slow?
I believe one of them said that it might be a cop. But that's why he was driving very slowly.
So what did people do then?
They just stood there for a while. Just watched him. And
did he run by?
No, he jogged very slowly, and then they came from behind him.
Who came from behind him?
A tall, dark-skinned fellow. I believe his name is Yusuf.
Yusuf?
Yes. And
was there somebody there by the name of Jermaine? Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it sounds familiar. The name sounds familiar.
As the name of somebody who was with you that night? Great. You said Yusuf was in that group that came behind? What did he do?
Yusuf, he had some kind of iron stick, some iron. I don't know if it was a stick. It was iron, and it was at least 14 inches, and it had black tape around it.
Was it? How was it shaped? Was it round, or was it square, like a piece of wood, or
like a cylinder?
Like a cylinder?
Cylinder shape, yes.
And who had that?
Yusuf. I'm not sure if that's his name. He was a tall, dark-skinned fellow.
Do you know where he lives?
Schaumburg Plaza.
How does he look? What does he look like? What's his hairstyle like?
He's tall, dark-skinned, he's lanky, he's kind of skinny. He has his hair in the kind of cut that the young guys wear now. The hair on top.
Is that flat top or?
Yes, flat top. Fade.
And real short around the sides?
Yes, nothing. Yeah, real short on the sides.
What did he do with the pipe?
I believe he approached him from the back.
Why do you think his name is Yusuf?
Because earlier while I was being questioned by the other officers, they asked me was that his name, and they described him as the same person.
Okay. Did you hear anybody call him that night?
Not that night.
Have you heard somebody refer to him that way before?
Yes, he came back to me, yes.
What did you see him do?
I seen him approach him from the back, and another kid named Raymond, he had a stick too. And the group of them went over to him. And as I saw that, I began to walk out the park.
What did you see them do?
I seen it was a lot of commotion. I seen a lot of like fists flying and stomping. And as I was walking, I kept like looking back to see what was going on. And I kept on walking, and Lamont was with me. A kid named Jono was with me. And the Hispanic that I didn't know his name, I said I had stolen the guy's food earlier, the homeless bum's food earlier. He was with me, and we were leaving. We were going towards the entrance, and the other part stood behind and was beating him and stuff. And as we hit the entrance, we waited there, and they were over there for a while, at least.
What could you see them doing?
I seen, like I said, fists flying and like foot stomping. I knew there was a lot of commotion over there, and it was over there at least for 5 minutes.
Did you see who was hitting the jogger?
No.
Could you hear him screaming?
But I know when they came back, one of them had a pipe.
Who had the pipe?
A boy named Antron McCray.
Where did he get the pipe from?
It was Yusuf, the same pipe Yusuf had earlier.
So the pipe that you had seen Yusuf with, after this assault of the jogger was over, you saw Antron with that pipe?
Yes.
When they were done, how far away from this assault were you?
I had hit a road, and there was grass, then there was an entrance pathway, and there were benches right there, and there were two people sitting on the bench. And
Who were they?
No, I didn't know them. It was like a civilians. I didn't know them. And we waited, and then they all ran, but they came very fast. And as I said, they were over there for a while, like at least 5 minutes. They ran very fast, and Yusuf said we kicked his ass. Or he said they kicked his ass. Something like that. And
How far away were you? A block, half a block?
Say a block and a half.
A couple parlance, a block and a half?
Yes.
But you were able to see them still assaulting this person?
I couldn't see any faces, but it was dark, and I seen a lot of like fists flying, like a lot of movement action.
And when they were done over there, they came to where you were?
They ran over, yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
What'd they say?
Yusuf said something to the old ass. They kicked his ass, and handed him back the steel pole. And
Antron gave the pole or the pipe back to
Yusuf.
Yes,
and a kid named Raymond mentioned something. It's like, because he had a stick too, and the other kids were saying like he had broke his stick while beating the man. And there was a kid with 2 gold caps that said he was punching him. He was laughing and saying that and stuff. And we began to walk down Clarence Avenue.
Well, I'm sorry. I understood that after you walked away, you were still sitting on a bench in the park.
Who's this?
When you said that you walked away during the assault and you went to sit on a bench.
Yes, and we waited by the wall.
In the park.
No, it was outside next to the wall. The small bench they have up against the wall outside the park. So,
how did everybody know that's where you were?
They seen us walk that way.
Did you climb over the fence or was there an exit?
There's an exit.
What exit street is that?
What street was it? I can't remember the exact street. I know it's on Columbus Avenue. I'm not sure. It might have been 86th Street, I'm not sure.
Could have been higher up?
Yes, but I know it's Columbus Avenue.
Central Park West or Columbus Avenue?
Columbus Avenue. Columbus Avenue. Champion? It was right outside the park.
Central Park.
Central Park was.
Okay, what happened there?
We waited for them, and Jono had sat down. Lamont, me, and the other Hispanic, I didn't know his name, we stood and watched and looked over to where the other people were.
Where were the other people?
Beating on the man.
They were still at it?
Yes, at least 5 minutes.
Maybe I misunderstood. You said that these people came up on the jogger with a pipe and started to hit him and beat him up. And you said you and a couple of other people left.
Walked off.
And you went to sit on a bench.
Yes.
Now, when you're saying that you were there watching them beat up the jogger, you're talking about just the people who left. And the beating was still going on?
Yes.
All right, and that went on for quite a while. Yes. You could see fists flying, you could see commotion.
Yes.
After that was over, what happened?
They ran over to us. A whole group of them ran over to us. And that's when they began to say stuff like, they kicked his ass, that was Yusuf, and Antron gave him back the pipe. And the kid Raymond, he said that he broke his stick while beating the man. I think it had to be a wooden stick then. He said he broke his stick. And that's when some of them crossed over the street, because they said we shouldn't walk all together, all the whole group of us. Some crossed the street, and some stayed on the other side. And that's when we began to walk down.
Walk down what?
Columbus Avenue.
Okay, so you did not go back in the park then?
No.
Did anybody say anything about looking for a woman jogger?
Stephen, earlier, but that was earlier.
What did he say?
He said something like, let's go get a woman jogger. I remember that.
How long, well?
Remember earlier when I said that as we climbed up the rocks, some left, made like they were leaving, some left. Stephen was one of them.
Did you go back into the park that night?
No.
Do you know that a woman was raped in the park?
That's from what I've heard now.
The people that we have spoken to, and particularly I mentioned your friend Anton McRae, says that you were there and that you also participated in raping her. I'm sorry?
I said, I can't be true because I wasn't there.
Well, you describe Antron as your friend.
Yes.
Why would your friend say that about you?
I don't know. Maybe he wants me to get in trouble with him.
Why would he want you to get in trouble?
I don't think he wants to see me go home without getting in any trouble. Just him getting in trouble.
Well, a number of people put you there, but I mentioned specifically somebody that you say is your friend because, it doesn't seem like he would have any reason to say something bad against you. And it's not like he says you did it and he didn't. He puts himself there too and says he was involved. So it's not as if he's trying to put all the blame on you. It sounds as if he's trying to tell us what happened. And it sounds as if he's your good friend and the two of you do things together and he says that he was there and he did it and he says that you did it, that maybe you were involved in it too. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
It can't be true because I had talked to him earlier and I asked him, did you mention my name, anything like that? And he just said no because he know I wasn't there. I was not around. And have you talked to Kevin, by the way?
I have.
And I was told that Kevin was there. And
who told you Kevin was there?
I believe I was being asked questions by the homicide detectives. They mentioned his name. And he should know I wasn't there.
Well, when you asked Antron if he mentioned your name, why did you ask him if he mentioned your name?
Because earlier, while I was being questioned by the homicide detectives, they said name a person that could say that you was not there, and I brought up Antron, and that's when they said they looked at me funny and they what did they say? I believe they said something like,
well, he was one of the people that was questioned.
Yes,
and they didn't specifically say the words that Antron said that you were there, but they were indicating that they had questioned him, and he did not deny that Clarence wasn't there. So there's no sense in asking Antron. So that was in a way telling us that he said.
What I want to impress on you is what I said in the beginning. What we want is the truth about what happened.
Yes.
And I have told that to everybody I've spoken to. I think it's in your interest to tell us the truth. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to relax and try to tell us about what happened. Okay, nobody wants you to say something that's not true. But if a lot of other people who were there are all telling us essentially the same thing, and then you say you weren't there, it's my job. I have to ask you, why would you say you weren't there when so many other people say you were?
I don't know how so many other people could because they don't know me. I didn't know half the boys there. There's many Antron, those people he knew. That's another reason I don't understand how they put my name.
People have different ways of identifying someone. Some people know your name, probably more people than you think. Other people can do it by description. But, it would help me if you could explain to me why people might say that you were there if you weren't, or why your good friend would say that you were there and participated in this. So I want to make sure that we give you a chance to tell your side and tell us exactly what happened. Okay, we're recording this. We'll get it exactly the way you say it. But I want you to tell us the truth, okay? Is there any reason that you can think of that people would say that you were there and that you were involved?
No, except for that they don't want to see me go home. And maybe that Antron was nervous when he said it. Because when we first approached Park, that's the time I was with him. Other than that, we weren't together any other time.
Did you tell Antron that if he didn't mention your name, you wouldn't mention his?
No, I just said it. That's when I found out why he would say that I was there when the woman was getting raped, because I don't know anything about a woman. And he was saying that too. But I don't...
He was saying what?
That he didn't know anything about it either. Probably was lying.
Well, when you left the park, who was with you?
Lamont, Jono, and the Hispanic, that's how they know his name. And I believe there might have been 2 other boys, but I didn't know them.
Do you remember when the police picked you up?
Yes.
Do you remember making a statement in the police car?
Yes.
Did you start to cry in the police car?
Yes.
And did you start to say something to the police?
That's when I began to ask, yes.
Did you say that you knew who the murderer was?
After they had said that the person was essentially dead, that's when then I said that.
What did you say?
I said that I know the person who killed him. You know, I was crying and stuff. Because I remember as they came back, I seen Antron with the pipe, and they were saying that he was beaten over the head. And I figured it was Antron since he came back with the pipe.
Did you tell the police it was Antron?
Yes.
When you said this to the police, well, why don't we go back? The police picked you up?
Mm-hmm.
Where did they pick you up?
86 on Coma or something.
Okay, do you know, was it a
Central Park West.
plainclothes cop or was it a uniform cop? Who picked you up?
It was a plainclothes cop.
And did they put you in a car to take you back to the Central Park precinct?
Yes.
And there were 3 officers in the car?
Two in front.
2 in front? Was there one in the back?
No.
There were 2 in front, and there was you, and was Richardson in the car with you too?
Kevin, yes.
And on the way to the precinct, did you start to cry?
Yes.
And did you say to the police, I know who the murderer is?
After they had said that the person was dead. And I
Now be careful. You're saying without murder. Did you use that word?
No, I didn't use murder, no. Because I know who killed him.
You said you know who killed the person?
Yes.
Why did you use the word kill?
Because they had said that the person was dead.
Who said that to you?
The cop that was in front, and then he began to tell us that we were in deep shit.
Say what he said.
Deep shit.
And did you get scared about being in trouble?
Yes.
Did you hear Kevin Richardson say anything when you said that?
Yes, he began to say, if you know who it is, to tell.
Did he say he also knew who it was?
After I had mentioned Intron McCrae, he began to tell the address. And that's when the police officer asked me what building and the floor he lived on and what door. And I told them, and the cop said, don't bullshit me. They better find him when they go there.
Did Antron say anything to you about a woman?
When?
That night? Did anybody say anything besides Steve Lopez about looking for a woman jogger?
No. And as we were in Central Park Precinct, Steve was whispering to Raymond something about a woman. They were sitting close together, and I was sitting on the desk because there was no more chairs left. And they were laughing and giggling over something.
Could you hear what they said?
I remember Steven saying something about he made her bleed, and they were laughing, him and Raymond.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
He made her bleed.
He made her bleed?
Yes.
Did he say how he made her bleed?
No. And something about he should have let her go. Something like that.
Did you see a woman in Central Park that night?
No.
You didn't see a woman jogger?
No, that's why I didn't understand what he was talking about until I found out earlier. Then I put it together that maybe he was the one that did it.
The clothes that you're wearing now, you have a gray sweater on, and you have gray trousers on.
Yes.
Are those the pants and the shirt that you were wearing last night?
No, they have them.
All right, you already gave those clothes to the police. What were you wearing last night?
Sky blue Calvin Klein pants with blue and white, light blue and white Reebok sneakers, cross trainer Reeboks, and I had on a blue sweatshirt and a black sweatshirt too. I didn't wear any jacket and no hat. So.
You have a coat on?
Coat. I didn't wear. I had 2 sweatshirts.
Okay. The shoes that you're wearing now, are those the shoes you wore last
No,
night?
they have them.
It's almost 7:20 a.m. I have no further questions. The interview is now concluded. Thank you very much. is Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney in New York County. Right. Why don't you say what your name is and where you live?
My name is Antonio Montalvo. Call me Tony.
And how old are you?
18.
Okay. We would like to record some of the things that you said to us earlier this evening. Present in the room with me is Assistant District Attorney Tim Clemens and Detective Arroyo. You've met both of them before, haven't you?
Yes.
Before I ask you about some of the things that happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th, I'm going to give you your Miranda warnings, okay? I'd like you to listen and answer the questions as I ask you. You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning and to have a lawyer present during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided for you now free of charge before any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that I've advised you of those rights, are you still willing to tell us what happened in Central Park on April 19th?
Yes.
Right. Before we came over to record this statement, we talked in my office, and you remember hearing those Miranda warnings before we started that conversation.
Yeah.
When we talked in that office, I told you that we would then come across the street here and we would record the statement that you made. You can see there's a microphone here and there's a two-way mirror where they're videotaping it. You can see from the lights this is being recorded. What I'd like to do is to ask you if you would please tell us about April 19th of 1989. Tell us where you were before you went into Central Park that night.
I was in my projects at night. Start walking on the block. I remember there was no go inside Central Park.
Okay, I'm having a little trouble understanding you. You were at your projects?
Yeah, there's, chilling out. There's over there got community center and everybody go inside there and play ping pong, pool and all that. So I was in front of community center. And then I just remember everybody's going wild tonight. Everybody.
When did you first hear that everyone was going wilding that
And
night?
that same day in the
That same
afternoon.
And you heard it in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Where did you hear it?
And PS 117.
Who was talking about it at PS 117?
Raymond.
What's Raymond's last name?
Santana.
Right. And did you know Raymond before April 19th?
Yeah.
How do you know Raymond?
When I go around school, I think they be around there, and plus one day, they went to go wilding for they went to Central Park. It was on the carnival.
Okay. Raymond talked to you about going wilding?
Huh? On the carnival? Yeah, but I didn't go.
Right. Did Raymond go wilding at the carnival?
Yeah, a lot. They did a lot of things, beat up people. And my brother, he wasn't there, but he was at the carnival chilling out, and cops started chasing him and all that. And my brother just started running. The cops was running towards him, so my brother ran. He got caught. Like that.
Right. When you heard about going wilding on April 19th, you said you heard about that from Raymond. Yes?
Yes.
Did Raymond come up and talk to you about it himself, or did somebody else tell you that Raymond was organizing something?
I was sitting there and then, like, called me over and told me about it. Yeah, I know, yeah.
Raymond called you over to talk about it?
Yeah. Like, yo, Tone, we're gonna have everybody like, yo, Tone, come on, Tone. Went over there and everybody's saying, yo, we're going wilding tonight. Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, everyone was saying, I'll be there.
Yeah, everybody.
Did you say you would go too?
Yeah, I said, I'll be there. And I just walked off.
Right. Did you know what time or what place everyone was going to meet?
They said about in Taft, like 8 o'clock.
They said to meet at Taft at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Did Raymond say that?
Yeah.
Did anybody else talk to you about going wilding during that day? Do you know someone named Michael Briscoe?
Yeah, I know Michael Briscoe.
Okay, does Michael have a nickname?
Boogie Blind.
Boogie Blind?
Yeah.
Did he talk to you that day about going wilding?
I ain't see him that day, I think. Until later on at night, he came into a project, working projects. It was him, Lamar, and his kid named Dudley. They came into the projects.
Right. Was that before you went into Central Park or after?
Yeah, before we went to Central Park. They came to projects. That's when I was coming in. I seen them going in. And I go in there and I seen all of them.
Okay, let me go back for a second. You said that you were standing outside of a youth center in your projects. Is that when you saw Michael Briscoe?
No, that's when I started walking towards Taft. I remember, and then we can go wild.
Okay, so you went over to Taft to meet them
Yeah,
and to go wild.
yeah, but I didn't know what part of Taft they was talking about, so I was just walking. And there's two parts. I was just walking, look inside, see if I see him. And I seen Michael. I was on the corner 112. I seen Michael Briscoe, Kenny Douglas, and Mark going into the projects.
A guy named Dougie?
Yeah.
Do you know Dougie's last name?
Riddicks.
Oh, Dudley.
Yeah.
Riddick.
Dougie Riddicks.
Okay. And who else?
Lamont.
Is that Lamont McCall?
I think so.
Does he have a nickname?
Yeah, they call him Man.
Do you know what time it was when you went over to Taft?
It was over here, like 8:15, something like that.
And you keep saying that Raymond was talking about going wilding. What does wilding mean?
Just go out and just beat up people.
Okay, does it mean also to rob people?
Huh?
Does it mean to rob people?
Nah, just beat them up and just keep on going.
To beat them up and keep on going
Yeah,
and beat up more people?
yeah.
When you went to Taft and you saw Michael Briscoe, did you see other people there too?
That's when it was Raymond, T-Bone,
Raymond is Raymond Santana?
Raymond Santana.
Did you know Raymond before that night?
Yeah,
How do you know Raymond?
we're going around his school.
His school, is that the same as your school?
Nah,
He goes to a different school?
yeah. He
And-
goes PS 117, junior high school.
And you have been around his school?
Yeah, go around there all the time.
Raymond Santana, you said there was T-Bone?
T-Bone.
What's T-Bone's real name? Is his name Clarence?
I think so.
You're not sure?
I ain't sure. I just know about T-Bone. Everybody call me T-Bone.
Okay, who else?
And Kenny Troy. And Jermaine Robinson.
Did you know Jermaine Robinson before that night?
Just seen him that night. I called his name off the TV. And they showed my
You
TV.
learned his name after you saw him on television.
Yeah, that's how I learned his name.
Do you remember whether Jermaine had gold caps on his teeth?
That same night, yes, he had those hands.
Do you remember if he had one or two?
He had one, two. More.
More than
Two.
more than two.
Yeah.
And who else?
There was this other kid, I don't know his name. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or black, but he was there. He had to go upstairs. His mom come out the window trying to come up. He went up.
How many people were you all together in Taft?
10.
You were about 10?
Something like that.
Did you count up how many you were?
I ain't count. I just walking with them. I ain't counting. They were all coming. They was coming out Taft on shoot. When Mike Briscoe bumped into them, they was coming out. And I was going in. And I said, "Hey, y'all know?" I said, "What's up, son?"
You said what?
I said, "What's up to everybody?"
What's up?
You know, yeah, what's up, y'all, what's up? What's up, you know, like I said, what's up? And then, yo, what's up, Tom? Then we start walking down Madison Avenue, going towards downtown. And that's when somebody said, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? And everybody said, I don't know. And they said, let's go out to the carnival. Somebody screamed out, let's go to the carnival.
When you said everybody was saying what we're going to do, everybody knew you were going to go wilding, right?
Yeah.
So when you were saying what are we going to do, what were you talking about? Where you were going to go wilding?
Yeah, like where we gonna go, something like that. Somebody screamed out, let's go to the carnival.
Somebody suggested going to the carnival. Where was that?
101st Street.
Was that the same place that Raymond had gone wilding before?
Yes.
And did someone suggest another place?
Somebody said carnival, maybe said nope. And somebody said, let's chill right here. Let's roam around right here and just beat people up. And I'm like, nah. Somebody said Century Park.
Okay, and what did you say? Did you have an opinion about where to go?
I didn't even know. I didn't say nothing. Wherever they go, I was going to go.
All right, you were going to go no matter where they went.
Yeah.
And was there a reason that you wanted to go to Central Park?
No reason to like Century Park. I'm like, okay, let's go to Century Park. I said to myself, cops do come on. I know Century Park by heart, so I don't get away. I don't know about everybody else, but I know Century Park by heart. So anything do happen, I said, I know which way to run and all that stuff.
And did you think that, didn't you tell me earlier that you thought Central Park had a lot of exits so you could get out of the park fast?
Yeah.
So who decided to go to Central Park?
Raymond decided to go to Central Park.
And everybody said okay?
Yeah, I said, all right, let's go.
So did you go straight to Central Park or did you stop somewhere on the way?
We walking, turn around Montalvo on 5th. We were still walking up the block. That's when we seen these people from Schaumburg, like Al, Kev.
Okay, let me stop you. Al is who? Is that Al Morris? Alfred Morris?
I don't know his last name, but I just know about Al.
Okay. Does he have a jacket that says something on it?
Yes.
What's his jacket say on it?
I know it said MCM.
MCM?
No, there's an MCM jacket and it said Big Al.
Big Al? Does it say Easy Al or Big Al?
Well, Big Al thing, I don't know. Exactly now is stripes, all blue, and the stripes like making like a spider webs. So like arms, and it's a big puff.
Okay, so there was Al. Who else was there?
Okay, Kev,
Is that Kevin Richardson?
Kevin Richardson.
Okay, you knew Kevin before that night?
Yes,
Did you know Al before that night?
yes.
How do you know Kevin?
Let me see. Playing football.
So how long have you known him?
I don't know how long, but for quite a long time.
He's a friend?
Yeah, the friend was, and
How about Al?
Al too, playing football. And I knew him for quite a long time too. Me and we were good friends, but we got the same best football team. We both like the same football team, so we were good friends.
Who else? Al, Kevin, who else did you see?
Steve Lopez.
Did you know Steve before that night?
Yeah, I knew Steve since I was a little kid. Well, that little kid when I was living on across the street from Schaumburg in his tenement buildings.
And you used to live across the street from Schaumburg and what?
In tenement buildings, OTBs, and I was to sneak out my block on 109th Street to go in Schaumburg to play, me and my brothers and some other kids to play tag in their projects. And Steve used to be, and we used to ask him if he wanted to play, and he used to play with us. That's how I met him.
Who else did you see at Schaumburg? Al, Kevin, Steve Lopez?
Some other kids, like, all in this short kid. Seen a short kid, man, little kid, small little kid, like, under 10 years old, named Cav. But I told him don't come. Told him go back home, I said, the little kid hang out with my little brother, he wanted to come.
But you told him not to come.
I said, don't come. And I said, go back home, go back. Chill out. Something will happen, you're going to get caught. You're a little kid and stuff. And you don't want to go to jail, so go back. And he said, I told him, and he left. He went back.
Okay. Who else was there? Steve Lopez, Kevin, Al. Who else did you see at Schaumburg?
A lot of people. I don't know, everybody was home. Only a lot of kids, they just joined us.
Did you see someone named Polo?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Is
Corey.
Polo a nickname for somebody?
Yes, his real name is Corey.
Did you know him before that night?
I know his name, but I don't know him like saying it's up. His own kids in his project trying to beat him up.
So you're not friends with him, but you know who he is?
Yeah, I ain't like saying friends. I see him, just look at him, just walk by. He's saying something to me, I just look at him, keep on walking. He's saying something to me, I don't say nothing back. I just keep on walking. I ain't like friends when we chill and talk constantly. He just said something, I just look at him, keep on walking, I don't say nothing back.
Did you see someone named Antoine?
Oh yes, excuse me, Antoine, he was in Taft. That's what Taft.
You met him at Taft, and he came to Schaumburg with you?
Yeah, and his friend. I don't know who his friend is.
What's his friend look like?
He's short and he's light skinned.
He's black or
He's
Spanish?
black.
Black.
Just
Light
light
skinned.
skinned.
What's Antoine's last name? McCrae? How long do you know Antoine?
Same thing. I know Raymond. I go around school.
How many people were you when you left Schaumburg?
35.
You were
Like 35.
And how do you know how many people you were?
On a random count, everybody.
Where were you when he counted everybody?
In the exit of 110th Street, Central Park.
When you say the exit, are you talking about where just before you go into the park?
Yeah, right there. Where everybody was going in his car. Everybody was walking in his car. Like that.
And where did you go when you went into the park?
We start walking. So towards the 106th Street exit, walking towards that way, we would go up the hill. While we got that way to 106th Street exit, we seen this Republican guy walking, coming from down the hill, walking out to the exit of 106th Street. He was walking. And
Did you know who he was?
I know him. So
Was he old or young?
He was young.
Like how old?
He was like in his 20s, 18, 19, he was young. So we formed two, like, towards the 106th Street exit. When we were walking together, then like a big grass with a gate line. So we went around it. Some went this way, some went another way. We went around and we had him in the middle.
Right. When you say you went around, you split up so that you could surround him?
Yeah, surround him. And he was like in the middle. And Steve Lopez said, I know the guy, I know him, leave him alone. So everybody left him alone, so he kept on walking.
Okay.
So,
let me just interrupt you for a second. We have a map here at Central Park, all right? We're going to just put it up on the wall, and then if you can show us where you were when you came into the park and show us the directions that you went in.
Put it closer to the light switch.
That's what I'm just thinking. All right, if you could just turn around for a second and take a look at that map. Do you recognize Central Park in that map?
yes.
All right. Would you start by showing us where it was that you were when Raymond counted the whole group up?
Right here.
Okay, and is that where there were 30 or 35 of you that he
Yeah.
counted? And that's where you came into the park?
Yeah.
Would you please point with your finger and show us where you walked after you came into the park?
Stop walking out here.
Were you walking on the path or on the
Yeah,
grass?
on the path.
And where did you go?
I mean, like, that's where we split up right here with the grass in between. We split up in two groups and surround the guy by 106th Street exit, surrounded him.
Okay, it was about where the 106th Street.
Yeah, 106th Street.
Okay. After you left that guy alone, where did you go?
Stop. I'm walking up the hill.
And you walked up that path that you pointed
Yeah.
to? And had the group come back together?
Yeah, the group was all together walking up the path.
What happened as you walked up the path?
We seen like a couple.
A couple, like two people?
Yeah, just two people, couple. Two girls, a male and a female walking.
Okay, you saw two people, a man and a woman, or a boy and a girl?
A man and a woman.
And what did they look like to you?
It was black.
What happened when you saw them?
We seen them, somebody said, we got two people coming up down the road. And Raymond said, yo, leave them alone. Two couples, man. We don't let them just go their way, they chilling. I said, so we let them keep on walking.
Okay, why did you not hurt them?
I don't know, girl, man, just let them alone, I think.
You said before two couples. Was it a man and a woman, or was it two men and two women?
A man and woman, that's it. It's a man and woman.
After you let those people go, where did you go?
Cut through the grass, try to walk up through a shortcut to get to the road.
You were looking, when you say you were looking for the road, can you show us what road you were trying to get to?
This one.
Is that the East Drive?
Yeah, East Drive, we like walk through the grass, that's a shortcut to get to the road faster. And that's when coming inside Central Park was the police car that was coming up the hill.
Could you show us where you saw the police car coming from?
Right here.
And-
On 6th Street, going up the hill.
And it was going up on the path that you've been walking on?
Yeah.
How did you know it was a police car?
then we seen the lights, the siren noise. And we spotted the blue and white car.
This was a marked car.
Yeah, blue and white, and we got the sirens on top and all that stuff.
Was the siren going on?
No, what's going on?
But it was a blue and white car.
It was a blue and white
What
car.
did everybody do when they saw the police car?
They police, and I started running. Some people ran towards some rocks. It was right there, going up the hill, you see the rocks. And I said, it's right behind this thing called guard. And some people ran to the rock. Some people ran maybe across the road. Some people hide in the grass.
What did you do when you saw the police car?
I ran towards the rocks.
Would you show us again when you ran? Put your finger back on the path that you were walking on, and then show us when you saw the police car. Where did you run?
The rock.
Okay. Who ran with you?
Antoine. Seen Cab trying to climb up on the rocks. Somebody was helping him. And that's it.
How many people were you altogether who ran with
On the
you?
rocks. There was a lot of people. You know, like everybody everybody was a form line, you know, when you were hiking, you go up, it's like a whole line, people trying to go up, trying to run, it was like that. And I was like in the front with Raymond. Look back, I seen Cab and some other people.
But you couldn't see everybody who was going in your direction.
Yeah, the trees and like that.
Was it dark?
Yeah, by the rocks it was real dark.
Where did you go after you got up by the rocks?
Raymond and Antoine, they started running. And I was telling them, chill, don't go by the road. They was running towards the road.
When you said they started to run and you said chill?
Yeah, don't run towards the road. It's probably 5-0 still on the road.
5-0 means what?
Police.
Okay, so you told them not to run toward the road. You thought they'd run into the police?
Yeah, and they still ran. So when I'm walking towards that way, went to the road. That's when I hear a lot of people like T-Bone them screaming out, "L, L." And I was like, oh, it must be safe down on the road. That you're trying to call everybody back. So I went down there, everybody's dead.
Everybody was there, all the people that had come into the park together?
Not exactly all. Like, cut it down to maybe 20.
Okay.
Cut it down to like maybe 20.
And there were about 20 people on the road?
Huh? Yeah. Cut it down about 20.
What did you do when you got to the road?
We was walking, and then somebody said biker. So everybody walking on one side of the road. I went to the other side by myself. And the biker was coming. I said, everybody like, you gonna hit him, Tony? Yeah, I'm gonna hit him. I said, and I just swung. I ain't hit him. I just kept on going. Like, I ain't mean to hit him. I just swung for heaven. I just kept on going. You know, it wasn't near him. Like, he just kept on riding. Like, they ain't scared him. Like, they just kept on riding. And everybody was laughing. Like, oh, you missed him, Tony. You're a sucker. Stuff like that. You're a sucker. You missed him. And everybody was laughing. I said, and I was just laughing along too. I ain't want to hit him. I just told him, I ain't want to do nothing. Like, you're a sucker, Tony. You're a sucker. So we keep on walking out.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. What were you wearing that night?
Black coat, puffy coat, black hood sweater, and green corduroys and sneakers.
And when you were in the park that night, did you have your hood up?
I had it there.
You had it down? Did you have it up at any time in the...
I had it up.
After that bike passed, that was just a single bike with a guy on it?
Yeah, single bike.
Did anybody else take a swing at him or try to... Just you?
Just me.
And after he passed, what happened?
We kept on walking on the road. And we got to 106th Street. Right? We got to 106. We got to about near 112th Street.
112th Street or 102nd Street?
Yeah, 102nd. Excuse me. 102nd Street, we seen a bum coming towards the baseball field.
Where did you see him when you first saw him?
He over here on a little path outside the baseball field, walking.
And you're indicating he was walking toward Fifth Avenue?
Yeah, walking toward Fifth Avenue, and we was still walking on the road. We was getting we was walking towards near him.
Yeah.
Once he got on the road, we was right there. Once he got on the road.
You were walking in a downtown direction when you saw him?
And he got on the road, started going across. Yeah. And that's when Jono Jermaine Robinson grabbed him, swung him out, threw him on the floor.
Where were you when Jermaine grabbed him?
I was right there looking.
Okay, and how did you see Jermaine grab him?
Grabbed him right here by the front of his jacket out, the shirt, grabbed him, swung him around, and threw him on the floor. Like, you know, they swing around, pick him up, and throw him on the floor. And then I came and just kicked him.
And what did you do?
I came and just kicked him on his legs.
All right, so you were kicking him. Jermaine knocked him down. Did anybody else do anything to him?
And I was kicking him, then, you know, like, people like the church search his pocket, stuff like that.
Okay, you said people were searching his pockets. How many people were kicking or hitting or jumping on this guy?
Like over 10 people.
And some people were hitting him?
Some people hit him, some people, you know, like, after they kick him, they just, like, look, you know, like, stand there, look. Some people searching the pocket.
You said they were searching his pockets. Who did you see looking in his pockets?
I don't know the exact people I was looking for, but I know I see like T-Bone, Michael, like Man.
You said that they were looking in his pockets. Which pockets were they looking in?
Like pants pockets, see like he got money and stuff like that.
You're showing us while you're doing that his front pockets. Did they look in a jacket too?
I think so, look in his jacket.
And you said T-Bone. Did you see Michael do that too?
I think so. I don't know who was exact thing in his pocket, who was the exact people that was hitting him.
Okay. You said that T-Bone was there and that Michael was there. Those were people that you saw there that you recognized, right?
Yeah.
And were those people hitting him or looking in his pockets?
He was like hitting him. Kicking him.
What did you see Michael Briscoe do?
I think he was looking in his pocket.
You saw him looking in his pockets?
He was on top of the man.
Right. Tell me exactly what you saw Michael Briscoe do.
Huh?
Exactly what did you see him do?
Digging his coat.
You saw him digging in his coat pockets?
That's it.
Right. Did you ever see him hit or kick this guy?
I was seeing like digging his coat pockets.
Right. You keep showing us again. It was a side pocket?
Side pocket.
And was that the side that he was looking in?
Huh? I don't know one of these two sides. I know he's seeing like digging pockets.
Right. But you saw him go in the pockets?
Yeah.
You said T-Bone was there. What did you see T-Bone do?
T-Bone hit him.
You saw him hit him. Did he hit him with his fist or a hand or
Foot.
with his foot?
Yeah.
So he kicked him.
Yeah.
How many times did you kick him?
I kicked him once, and then once I kicked him, everybody else just, you know, I just looked real quick. And then I was kind of scared that cops were gonna come. The same cops that we seen come from 160. I was scared that they was gonna come. And so I just picked up his food. I didn't know it was food, but I just picked it up. The bag, you know, the stuff was hot. So from there I knew it was food, so I started running off.
What color bag was it?
A brown bag.
It was a brown bag? Was there a plastic bag around it?
Just a brown bag.
And it was, where did you see it?
It was on the floor.
Was it next to him? The old man?
Right by him.
And you took it?
I picked it up and I felt that it was hot. And you know, the bag was like rolled up. I was like steak or something like that. And this hot food, when I ran to the rocks.
Okay, show me on the map. When you say you ran to the rock, show us where you were.
Right here.
All right. It was next to the, okay, where was it that you grabbed this old man? Right there?
With the arrow right there. Okay. I ran to the rocks right here.
And what did you do when you got to the rocks?
When I got to the rocks, I didn't see the Lopez there. Everybody else was coming. I opened bag, opened rice. I don't like rice. I put the rice down. Opened the chicken. So I grabbed a fork real quick. Picked the chicken up, took a bite. Everybody said, "Ugh, you disgusting, Tony, disgusting. How you gonna eat that?" I said, you don't know this poison in the food or be poison stuff like that. You don't know. And I like, so who cares, man? Who cares? You see anything happen to me now? No, right? I'm alright, right? Fuck that. I said, fuck that. I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry. I ain't eat all day. I'm hungry. I said, you disgusting, man. You're disgusting. So I was gonna take another bite. So I just threw the thing away. I said, then I picked the cup up. And then I got off the rock. And that's when I got off the rock. That's when this guy was walking up the path. walking up this path.
Let me stop you for a second before you get to that. Do you know someone by the name of Orlando?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
That night, did you see Orlando?
Yes.
When was the first time you saw Orlando?
First time I met him or
That night, when was the first time you saw him?
in Taft.
Right, and did he go with you to go wilding and he went to Schaumburg with you?
Yes.
When you saw the first guy that you surrounded but then you left him alone, was Orlando with you?
Oh yeah, he was there.
And when you saw the couple that you left alone, was Orlando with you?
Yeah, he was there.
And when you got to this old man that you beat up,
He was there.
he was there. What did he do?
I don't know, looking to see if he was going.
How long do you know Orlando?
Same thing like I know Raymond
From school?
Yeah.
When you went and sat on the rock with the food, was anybody sitting with you?
Stephen Lopez was next to me.
Was anybody else sitting on the rock with you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
I don't know who else. It was people standing there on the rock looking on stuff.
Did you talk to Stephen about the food?
Nah,
Did he say anything when you were eating the food?
give me some.
He wanted some of the food. Did you
Yeah.
give him some?
I put the rice right next to him. I don't want that.
Did he eat some of the rice?
I don't know about that. That's when I get out, turn around, open the chicken to the pipe. That's when I threw it away. Grabbed the cup. I thought it was coffee.
Did it turn out to be coffee?
No,
No,
it was
it
beans.
Okay.
That's when, before I opened it, that's when everybody, another little team going, everybody started chasing the man. This Puerto Rican guy was coming inside Central Park to 102nd Street path. He was coming in, and they was calling his name, like, you faggot, and so I think somebody called him Bernard Getz, something like that. Somebody called him that thing. So the man ran,
Which way did he run?
I think, towards that, going towards the west side, going to the park, I think.
Do you know what he looked like?
Huh? I don't know.
Do you know, was he white or black or
He was-
Spanish?
Little Puerto Rican.
He was Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
And was he old or young?
Like the kind of, maybe in his 20s, something like that, maybe his 30s.
Do you remember whether he had long hair or short hair?
I don't think short hair, I think
Was it black or
black.
did he have glasses on?
I don't know.
Do you remember if he was wearing a coat or a shirt or anything about what he was wearing?
I don't know.
Did anybody throw anything at him?
I don't know about that.
Did anybody ask him for money?
I don't know about that.
What did you hear them say to him?
I just hear him calling names like faggot, punk, you know.
Somebody said something about Bernard Getz?
Yeah, something like that. Somebody
Do you know who said that? And did they chase him?
Yeah.
How far did they chase him?
Just to the road, to the top of the road.
And then what?
Everybody just, I think everybody just stopped right there. That's when I was still walking, I was still down here by the middle of the road. I was walking up the road.
Did you chase that man?
Huh?
Did you chase that guy?
No, I didn't chase him.
Why not?
Huh? They had the cup, and I thought it was cup on coffee. And they started chasing me. I like, forget them guys, man. I'm gonna drink this coffee, and I'll be straight. And I opened it with beans.
What did you do with it?
Threw it away.
When you threw it away, you just threw it on the ground?
They just threw it on the ground. I said, beans?
Where was the old man the last time you saw him?
He was still laid down over there.
When you say he was laid out, was he bleeding?
I don't know about that.
Was he
Once I
moving?
grabbed the food, I left. That's when everybody was still back, and that's when they started following.
Did you see Antron when you were picking the old man? Did you see Antron?
I don't remember seeing him.
Could he have been there? Okay. When you left the old man, was he moving anymore?
He was laid out.
What does that mean?
He was like out cold, you know.
He looked to you like he was unconscious?
Yeah.
And was he lying on the road?
Yeah, when we got to the exit, all that stuff, and like some people was on the road, people said, just keep on walking down the road, all that stuff. But I said, alright, and I looked back, and I see the man, he laid out.
Okay, when you looked back, he was laying out on the road?
Yeah, he was moving, so we kept on going. I said, that's messed up, I have to go, man. So we kept on going, all that stuff. And we was just walking, and then we seen a car coming. We seen the car, and I just jumped in the grass. And some people ran to one side fast, some people spin like the other side fast, some people walking on the road.
You said you saw a car coming. What kind of a car was it? Did you know?
Like a regular car, and
When you saw it coming, what did you think?
Police car.
And that's why you ran off the road?
Yeah, some people ran the other side.
Which side did you run into? Which
I
side?
ran to the side off the avenue. Some people ran to the other side. There's
Okay.
trees there.
And when the car got closer, could you see it?
Hmm?
When the car got closer, could you see it?
Yeah.
And was it a police car?
No, it was a regular car. I don't know what kind of car it was, but it was a regular car. And it rolled by. People left it alone. We jumped back on the road. We was walking. We seen another car. This time was a taxi cab. Alright, stuff. And somebody said police. And then somebody said, there ain't no police. It's a regular taxi cab, regular taxi. Alright, stuff. That's when anyway, some people still ran in the grass. Some people were scared. Like a couple, maybe like 5, 6, 7, still on the road. Say, ain't no cat, ain't no cops, ain't no cops. And rolled by real quick. And the kid called me back.
Cocaine? Did you have any alcohol to drink?
No.
So you were
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we jumped back in the grass. Then somebody said, biker, biker. And we went and people made 2 lines. Formed 2 lines so the biker comes to the middle. Our stuff. And I was like on the tip of the end of the grass, look and see what they're going to do.
Were you still on the side toward 5th Avenue?
Towards this side, the other side.
You were on the
other side, towards.
Alright, show us the map.
Right here.
Okay, so you were now on the other side of the road.
Other side of the road, grass. And I was on the tip of the grass, look and see what they're going to do. I was right, right behind it. Got the line, 2 lines, and they rolled by. And somebody pulled the shirt. I don't know who, but somebody.
What did the bike look like when it came up?
There was 2 bikers. A man in the front, a lady in the back.
There was 2 people on one bike.
Yeah.
And what did you do when they came up?
They rolled by, and somebody picked the shirt. They were saying, yo, push them off, let me pick them up. Nobody do nothing. Somebody just, like, pull the shirt up back and try to pull the shirt on the side, and they kept on going.
Were people in the street when they came up?
There was people walking the street,
No. Were some of the group, were they in the street when they came up?
They formed 2 lines.
They were in the street?
They formed 2 lines, and after that, they come out saying, oh, you a sucker, you a sucker. Why ain't you pushing, stuff like that.
They were saying that to you?
Nah, they're saying that to, if people saying that to each other, you a sucker, why you ain't pushing, stuff like that, why you ain't pushing, all that stuff. So when we got on the grass, that's when more people was coming from towards uptown, and the baseball field running towards us, screaming out, help, help.
What does that mean when someone says AO?
Like trying to signal somebody, trying to call them.
It's a way of letting you know where they are?
Yeah.
And did you answer them?
We looked, and we're like, who's that? And then the street running, help. So we started jumping up and down, help. And we ran towards them. We ran to the middle of the baseball field.
You show us on the map where you saw those people come from and where you were.
They was coming from right here, coming towards us, and we was right here. And we ran to the baseball field. And we stopped in the middle.
So they were coming down from the north?
Yeah, coming out towards this way, and we was right here. And we met up.
And who was in that group that you met up with?
Everybody, Stephen, Megan, Antoine, Wilson, Al, some other kids. I seen them, and going like jumping up and down, saying something to everybody.
Did you see where Polo was or Corey Wise was at that point? Did you see with that group that came running?
I seen that.
You don't remember where he was?
I just remember I remember that I seen him do rock at the cab.
Okay. When that group that you just described, you said Antron and Youssef and Stephen and Raymond came running towards you. Was Corey with them when they came running towards you?
I don't remember. I think I seen him do a rock at the cab.
Okay.
And
You don't remember where he was when that group came running towards you?
Everybody jumping up and down, saying something. Oh shit, the niggas telling about the cab.
Everybody's jumping up and down. Was everybody happy?
Yeah, like that.
Like happy about what?
The group I was in, everybody was all jumping up and down, telling them we did this to the taxi cab, we did this to the jogger and all that shit. And they're like, oh, whatever. So then somebody looked, and somebody said, look, police, yo, police. And then the police was by 102nd Street, and we see
Let me just
police
stop you for a
stopped.
second. You said you were telling the group, we did this to the taxi cab, we did this
Yeah,
to
the
the
group was
jogger.
telling them that, stuff like that.
What did you say you did to the jogger?
No, I didn't say nothing.
What?
I just said, "Sup to Al." I said, "No, what's up?" I said, they was jumping up and down and all that stuff. And I was just looking. I said, I spotted the police car too, but somebody else spotted before me. I was just looking towards that way. I thought that somebody spotted the police car before me. Somebody said, police. And I looked. And I said to myself, that is police.
Where'd you see the police?
102nd Street by the jog, by the old man. They stopped over there on 102nd. They stopped.
You said on 102nd Street by the jogger?
I mean, the bum. That bum. They
How was the bum dressed?
Yeah, like a beige coat. Zip up with some pants on.
He was an old man?
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't look like a jogger.
No, he wasn't on top. He was just walking real slow. And then everybody jumped up and down when we spotted the cops. Al and some other people.
Show us again, please, where you saw that cop.
Right here.
Did the people who came running down from the north, those people, Raymond and Stephen and those people, did they say anything to you?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
What were they doing? Were they jumping up and down too?
Yeah. And then somebody spotted the police. Somebody said, police. And some people started running towards Fifth Avenue exit. Like Al's on this. Started running towards that way. Like me, Raymond, Antoine, Steve, Troy, and T-Bone, Man, Boogie Brown, all of us started running to the...
You said man, is that Lamont?
Yeah, Lamont.
And Boogie Blind, that's Michael Briscoe?
Yeah, we all started running to the handball courts. Then over here, we ran towards there, and some people were sitting in the grass. Some of us were sitting like in the dugout on the baseball field, a dugout. Some of us were sitting on the bench, and we got up, and Raymond said, "Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. We ain't going home yet."
How long did you sit there?
For like a minute or two. And then we got up and we started walking. And Orlando was there. I said, and we were walking. And before we get to the 97th Street transfer that, so Raymond
Was Jermaine with you?
Jermaine Robinson, I think so. I don't know. I'm seeing him there. And niggas started calling Al, that they see Al over here by Fifth Avenue. They seen them.
When did they see Al over there?
When we started walking to the 97th Street transfer, they seen Al and all the other kids. We tried to call them back, tell them, come back, keep on, come on, hurry up. And I think there was, I don't know if it was coming back. I was trying to walk off, and I was like, I was trying to tell Lando, let's go this way, they would cross the traffic. And I said, we'll be out. I said, Lando was walking, and Raymond was calling him back, and that's when they spotted 2 police cars, I think, on the road. So they all started running, and we crossed the 97th Street transfer.
How did you cross the transfers?
We jumped down on the rock, we jumped down to the street, went across real quick, and climbed the rock.
Did you have any trouble climbing up on the other side?
On that side, no. Just climbed, and that's it. And we was on the other side, and we started walking in the grass, walking towards the reservoir.
Where did you walk, Charles?
Right here. We walked in this, going towards the reservoir.
Where did you cross the transfers?
Right here.
Okay, and then you came up on the other side, and where did you
started
go?
walking to the reservoir, and we seen a car. The car looked like one of the police car, detective's car, coming towards us.
Right, you saw, where did you see that, on the path or on the reservoir?
On the reservoir.
It was driving right up by the water?
Not by water, like right there by the reservoir, on the grass.
Okay,
Just
what did that car look like?
like a detective car,
Like a police car, but not a marked car?
not a marked car, so plain.
What happened when the group saw that car?
Some people like, not run, but they like try to hide like behind some trees, stuff like that. So the car came by. Some people didn't like run, like Raymond and niggas didn't run. So the car came by. They say, ain't no police, come on, man. Okay, you gotta stop being scared of that, man. Don't worry about them. I said, so when we still walking, some walking by the reservoir. I said, and then somebody spotted, a jogger coming, sitting high in the grass, then they could pop out and try to grab him like that. And they pop out, and this kid named Man, Lamar, chased them over to the Northgate house.
Okay, slow down for a second. When you had crossed over and after the police car, or the car that looked like an unmarked car, passed by, where did you go?
Still walking towards up to the reservoir.
Who are you with?
I think Buggy behind.
Michael Briscoe.
Yeah.
And who else?
Like that's it.
It was just two of you?
Huh?
It was just
You
two
know,
of you?
everybody like spread out, like walking by themselves, somebody walking with somebody,
Who
walking
else
to the
was there?
basketball.
Who else was walking?
Walking with me.
You said you were walking with Michael.
Yeah.
There were other people that were walking.
Yeah.
Who were those other people?
Raymond.
Raymond was
Steve,
there.
Man, Antoine, Troy, T-Bone.
Was Kevin there?
Huh? Yeah, Kevin was there.
Was Yusef there?
I don't know about that.
You don't know if he was there.
No.
Did you know Yusef before this day?
I just really got known by TV.
Okay. Before, on that night, when you saw him, did you know anybody by the name of Yusef when you went to the park that night?
No.
Do you remember what this person that you said that you then saw somebody on TV that you think is Yusef?
It looks like you.
Right, you saw a person on TV and you think that person is Yusef.
Yeah, it looks like
Do you remember what that person was wearing in the park that night?
It was white, all white.
He was wearing all white. When you got up by the reservoir, what happened?
A jogger came by.
What did that jogger look like?
It was a male jogger. He was just jogging. I don't know why he got on. He was jogging.
And did somebody say something or do something to him when he came along?
Came out, they tried to grab him.
Who tried to grab him?
Man, Raymond, they tried to come out and grab him. The jogger started running. And the kid named Man started chasing him. Lamar started chasing him, behind him, chasing him. And he gave up on the man when he got by the Northgate house.
Did you catch him?
Nah, just gave up, stopped. Man kept on going. And we was like, I'm in the back running too, like, me with the blind. And he stopped.
You were
everybody
running,
stopped.
you and Michael Briscoe were running after the man too.
Now we was in the back running, the crowd was running up ahead. And we was running, caught up.
Well, you were
we was
running-
still in the grass. They was like on the reservoir. They're like, what happened? And the man said, I couldn't catch him.
You were running to catch up to the group.
Yeah, me and Bug Line was on down the grass. And then they kept on walking on the reservoir. They kept on that stuff. And me and Boogie Blind was like, we still walking on the grass, getting by this bridge over here, the 59. Like that bridge. We was over there by the bridge. So I think they caught somebody, a jog or something like that. He ran down to the grass and he stopped. And I just remember him saying, what do you want? I said, and somebody came and said, give me your money. I said, he came and said, I don't got no money. So Cat punched him in his face.
Did you see that?
Huh? Yes.
And where were you when it happened?
Right there.
You were right next to Kevin?
They're all surrounded.
You were one of the
I was
people
looking.
surrounding you?
Huh? Yeah, and when they surrounded me and Briscoe went back and we was looking.
Okay, so you surrounded him as well, and you saw Kevin punch him in the face. Did anybody else hit him?
Huh?
Did anybody else hit him?
Kicking the butt.
Who kicked him?
I don't know. Well, you know, when he started running, get out of here. Stuff like that. And he was gone. He started running. Said, I'm gonna call the cops on y'all.
Did anybody chase him?
Nobody.
Did you think about chasing him?
Huh? That's what I was thinking about chasing him. I said, catch him. I said, he gonna call the cops on us. That's when I started walking on. I said, gonna catch him. He gonna call the cops on us, man. All that stuff. I said, nah, forget it. So that's why I started walking ahead. I said, Michael, come on, Michael. I said, just be out. I know the exit out this way. We're gonna get in trouble and all that stuff. No exit. Michael said, come on, let's go. And so the man, Lamar, ran up to us. And he like, yo, I cut my finger. I said, like, word, like, yup. And I, come on, I told him, stick next to me. We gonna leave this joint safe. Nothing will happen to us. So, but we kept on walking.
Before you left the reservoir, did you see one of the joggers get hit in the head with a pipe?
Yeah, that's when another one ran by. Everybody was doing the grass when I was walking up ahead. They started chasing him. Somebody shot the pipe out.
Somebody hit him in the head with a pipe? What did the pipe look like?
It was black.
It was a black pipe. Had you seen that pipe that evening before that?
Did I see it before that? No, I didn't see
That was
it.
the first time you saw the pipe?
I didn't think it was a pipe. I thought it was a stick, but I knew it was a pipe.
What did it look like when you saw it?
To me, it looked like they shot a stick at
It
me.
looked like a stick.
I knew it was a pipe.
Okay, don't tell us what you
Oh,
heard,
all right.
tell us what you saw, okay? When you saw somebody throw a pipe, excuse me, a stick?
Yeah,
Do you know who you saw?
it was Antoine.
You saw Antoine throw a stick at him. Where was that person when you saw him have a stick thrown at him?
Over here. That's what it's right here.
And did people chase after him?
Yeah, so there's one dude behind the jogger and the rest was behind the reservoir.
So everybody chased after the guy?
You can say, yeah.
All right, did you stick around and watch?
Huh? I was on the grass. I was looking, it was running. I looked back and I seen him chasing the jogger. And the rest was running on the grass and I was just looking.
Did you chase him?
No, I was standing on the grass looking. And then after that, everybody got off the grass, everybody was laughing. That stuff. And I looked. A police scooter rolled by on the road real quick. Rolled by real fast. All that stuff. I said, oh shit. Then I heard somebody come out and say, yo, another jogger. This time was coming from like this side going towards the crowd. He was going towards the crowd. Then I said, going jogger. So I said, I'm out of here, come on, Mike. And I told him Mark to come, but he didn't want to come. I think he stopped. I think he went to go back. So I ran, and then I just ran. I didn't look back, and then I just ran straight out to the exit on 93rd Street.
Show us where you ran out of the park.
Right here.
And who were you with when you left the park?
I was with Michael.
And when you left the park, where did you go when you got
I
out?
just stood right there in the front
Did you see
exit.
anybody else?
When I turned around, I seen man and some other little kids coming out the park too.
Where did you see them coming out? The same exit?
Same exit.
Okay. When you looked into the park, could you see anything going on in the park?
First I looked somewhere else. Then they told me, look in the park, I think they doing something. I looked in the park and it looked like they was doing something.
Where did you see?
Huh?
Where?
They was over here. They passed us over, they was over here.
Okay. You're telling us that you could see there from 93rd Street?
Yeah. You don't see the exact thing. I only see shadows. See the whole group of guys, shadows.
You could see shadows.
Like you see them, but you don't know like exactly.
What did it look like to you from where you were?
To me, it looked like they were beating somebody. I don't know.
Did you walk up Central Park West then?
Yeah, that's when I turned around. I looked at Mike again, see if he was there and stuff. I turned around, I seen Raymond, T-Bone, and niggas coming towards us at the exit. So I said, come on, man. Going across the street, we can't stay with them. We're gonna be in big shit if we stay with them. So we're gonna.
Why did you think you would be in trouble if you stayed with them?
Huh?
Why were you gonna be in
cop? What happened over here in the east side with the job with the
You know, I have to tell you, Tony, that's the third time you've referred to this bum that you beat up as a jogger. Did you do something to a jogger up at 102nd Street?
No, I just keep on saying stuff like that.
Well, it's the third
As
time that
in,
you've talked
I mean,
about
it's
this
a
old
bum.
man as a jogger. He wasn't dressed like a jogger. Is there
No.
something that happened with the jogger at 102nd Street that you want to tell us about?
Nothing.
This is the time to tell us about it. Well, you are the one
I
who
keep-
3 times refers to this guy as a jogger. And he's an old man.
So I gotta make like everybody make mistake before about something.
Just want to make sure it's a
I
mistake
keep on
and not the
making
truth.
mistakes. That's all. Just like I was making a mistake by 100, like I made a mistake by 112th Street by mistake. Instead of saying 102nd, I said
Yeah, but Tony, you
112.
did that once, not 3 times. You said you came out of the park on Central Park West,
Yeah,
and that's when you saw Raymond and you knew that you were going to be in trouble if you stayed with him.
yeah. If I stayed with the whole crew, all that stuff, so I started walking up ahead.
So where did you go?
We was walking down the street, down Central Park Street, the other side of the street. Me and Michael and them
Okay, you were walking on Central Park West, but you were walking on the
left.
side away from the park.
Yeah. not
And did somebody
across the
start
street.
breaking some light bulbs?
That's later on.
Okay, you're walking up Central Park West. What happened?
And we seen 2 white kids walking by us. I seen
Were they boys or girls?
some boys. And then one walked by us real fast, like he ran past us real fast. I said that Michael think, Michael thought they was gonna do something to the kids, so Michael went across the street to the Central Park side and walked by himself. And man, Lamar walked up ahead by himself. So then the kid, I looked back and I was looking at him. talking. I was like talking to him. I was saying, "Yo, what's up? You scared because the dude's back there?"
You said to whom?
To the kid.
You said what? You scared because of those?
Guys back there.
And
I said,
who were you talking about?
Raymond, and he didn't say, he was like shaking his head, still walking. I said, and I came and said, no, I don't worry about them, or stuff like that, you know. I said, so when he stopped, I seen him stop and walk to another house. I said to swing on him, on stuff.
You were thinking about swinging on him?
Yeah.
You were going to hit him?
Huh?
You were going to hit him?
Yeah, and then I said just swing on him, hit him once, and then everybody else just jump him. Then I said to myself, he stopped. And I said to myself, why he want to stop for a whole bunch of guys coming down the block? Then I looked, then I see 2 cops there, and I said, oh, that's why.
All right, you see this guy, and you think you're going to beat him up. You see him walking, he's walking downtown.
He's walking towards them, and then he started walking back towards my way, like walking back uptown. Then he seen nothing, that's why.
You said he saw them. You're talking about the group that was with Raymond?
That was in the back.
All right,
yeah.
They were out of the park now.
They was at the park.
And they were also on Central Park West.
Yeah, they was on the same street we was walking. We were just a block away.
Okay, and you were trying to get ahead of them because you didn't want to be with them. You thought you'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
So when you saw the kid that came by you and you thought you were he was walking towards
them.
Towards the group with Raymond.
He went towards them. They came around, like, started walking back. One of the kids I walked, like, ran by, got scared.
And then he turned around and he started coming back.
Yeah, and I was walking by myself. That Michael went across the street to Central Park, so I walked by myself. And
but you were going to hit this kid until you turned around and you saw that there were cops there.
Yeah.
So you decided not to beat him up.
Yeah.
All right. What happened next?
Then across the street, the man was there. The man came out and said, "Did you see me trying to walk right by the cops? They didn't do nothing to me."
That's Lamont. He said he was able to walk by the police?
Yeah.
What else did he say? They didn't stop him?
Yeah. He said, "They didn't stop me." I said, "Come on, let's keep on walking." Before they stopped, all these guys, they didn't come back and try to get us, stuff like that. So Michael jumped on my side of the street. I looked back, I seen niggas jumping in cabs, stuff like that. Then they seen the cops and they jumping in cabs. So they ride off.
Who'd you see jumping in cabs?
T-Bone, some other niggas.
Some other what?
Some other boys. No,
what did you say
the other
first?
group.
What did you say first?
Other niggas.
Okay, so you saw some other people getting in cabs. T-Bone, who else?
T-Bone, Orlando,
Orlando got in a cab?
No, not Orlando. I mean Troy.
Another mistake?
Yeah, that's a mistake. I mean Troy.
Troy. Who else?
I don't know. It's the whole big group. There's a lot of niggas.
Was everybody jumping in the cab so they could get away from where the police were?
Yeah.
The police that you saw on the street, were they in uniform?
Uniform.
Okay, were they together or 2 separate cops?
Together, but they were just separated. They weren't standing together. They were just separated.
Were they on the park side of Central Park West or on the other side?
On the other side of the street, where it was a train station on 96th Street.
Right. And did you walk past the police?
Yeah.
And you went further up?
Yeah, that's when I kept on walking with Lamont and Mike.
And Lamont and Michael stayed with you?
Yeah.
And did somebody, where was the group with Raymond at that point?
They were behind, they was in the back. And that's when they probably got scared. They seen the cops. So they tried to jump in cabs. They jumped in cabs and I said, Raymond, I know Raymond, Steve.
Did you see them get in a cab?
Raymond,
Yeah.
Steve? No, they were still walking.
Okay.
I know they were still walking. Antoine, Orlando, cab, I seen them still walking.
All right. You get past the cops, you're still walking. Is there a point where you see the police scooter?
Not yet.
Okay, what happened before that?
So we keep on walking, and we get by these projects on 97th or 98th Street. I don't know what exact street. So we keep on walking, and we cut in the projects where this building's at. It's a building side. We go in, and we start walking, just Michael and Lamont. Still walking, right? We come out the other the same side of the building, straight ahead. We come out, and we walk on the street side.
Right. When you say you come out and you're walking on the street side, what is the name of the street you're walking on?
Exactly 97 or 81, those two.
And you're between Central Park West and Columbus?
Yeah, like that. And we walking up. That's when Antoine and his friend ran up to us, and they started walking us. And I look back, and that's when Raymond started breaking light bulbs under like this bridge thing right by the building.
And when you're talking about a bridge thing, are you talking about some kind of construction or scaffolding?
Yeah, construction thing. And they got, they got the light bulbs for lights. They start breaking those.
Who did you see break the light bulbs? And did you see how he did it?
Huh?
How did he break the light bulbs?
I don't know.
And how many light bulbs did you see him break?
I think about 2.
And then what happened?
Then I didn't look at them there. I was still walking. Then when we still walking, there's 2 buildings. We get by the other end of the building. We go in. We try to separate from them. We go in, try to like go a different way. While we going in and try to hand me a pipe. I said no, I don't want a pipe. Then he tried to hand it to Michael Briscoe. Michael Briscoe said no, I don't want that, shit. I don't want that pipe. Then the more I came out and said, don't hand it to me. I don't want it.
Why didn't you want the pipe?
Huh?
Why didn't you want the pipe?
Fingerprints.
You were afraid that there'd be fingerprints on it?
Yeah. I knew they had to do something with that pipe in the park. Hit somebody, so I wouldn't want my fingerprints.
How'd you know that they used that pipe in the park?
Huh?
How'd you know that they used that pipe in the
They
park?
brought it to the park, so they had to do something with the pipe.
How'd you know they brought it to the park?
Huh?
How do you know they brought it to the park?
Then Antoine didn't have the pipe when I
How do you know he didn't find it on the street?
Huh?
How do you know he didn't find it?
I don't know, but I know when I went up to him and said something, he had no
Tony.
weapon on him.
Tony, you want to tell us about it?
I'm there up when I said something to Antoine, he had no weapon on him, he had nothing in his pocket.
Yeah.
I said something to him, he had no weapon. Nothing. Alright, so. Now how you gonna end up with a
You
pipe?
just spent almost an hour telling us about what happened in that park, and I asked you at every point, did anybody have a weapon? And you said no. I asked you at the reservoir, was there a pipe? You said no, I thought it was a stick. All of a sudden, you're out of the park, someone tries to give you a pipe, and I say, why didn't you want it? And you say you were afraid there'd be fingerprints on it. Why would you care if there were fingerprints on it? From what you're telling us tonight, you didn't have any reason to think it was used in a crime. But you knew that it was used in a crime, didn't you?
Nope.
You knew that it was used to beat the female jogger
No.
on 102nd Street.
Nope, I wasn't there in 102nd Street when they beat the jogger.
What did he do with the pipe?
He put it in his hood sweater.
Antoine put it in his sweater?
Yup, in his hood sweater.
In his
pocket.
And what happened then?
And we kept on walking. And we came out to 100th Street exit. Stood on the corner, hanging out. And Brandon was coming around the corner of 97, 98th Street, coming around the corner, coming towards us. I said, then I tried back to some girls. I started to call to them. Antoine told me that one of the girls talked to a friend of ours around the block. And I left the girl alone. I told her, don't tell your boyfriend I was trying to talk to you. I said, she kept on walking. Then I seen these dudes and I was talking. I called the dudes and I said, where's the girls around here? He said, well, ain't no girls around here. I said, then he asked, what you doing? I said, we ain't doing nothing, don't worry about us. And he said, where you live at? And I told him we live on the east side, 108th Street. Then he said, where? Then he asked me, I know this dude named Joey, Stevie and Jimmy, all brothers. I said, yeah. So I went on and started talking to him. He started asking me about all these drug dealers around my block. He started asking me about them. Do you know him? Do you know him? Stuff like that, all these drug dealers. I'm like, yeah, I know him. Like, when they start talking, then we just having a nice little conversation. I started to Raymond, they're on the corner, met up. And they said, hurry up, Tom. I told them, wait up. So they kept on going.
Where'd you go?
They going down the block towards Central Park. And I was still talking to the dude, and then I caught up with
So
them.
you caught up with them, you walked back to Central Park West?
Yeah, and then we start walking, turn around across the street, turn around the corner, then niggas talking about they hungry.
Okay. Who's talking about they're hungry?
Steve. He was talking about he was hungry and all that stuff. So we still walking down the block.
And when you're walking down the block, are you walking up north? You're walking uptown?
Yeah, and then somebody spotted a green truck coming out of Central Park.
Okay, where did you see the green truck come out of Central Park?
100th Street. Coming
And
out.
where were you when you saw the truck come
And
out?
on the next corner, at the 101st Street, somebody looked back and spotted the green truck coming
And what
out.
they think when they saw the green truck?
They're like, this is a green truck. And somebody's like, ain't no police now. That's the green truck that been in Central Park. I said, alright. So I kept on walking. Got to like 102nd, truck turned and landed up on the corner. I said, hey, pop out was DTs. I think they came out and said, don't move. So I said, don't move, you'll get shot, they shoot you or something like that. So Antoine came out and said, let's run. Let's get the fuck out of here like that. So everybody started running, we turned around the corner, everybody's in front of me, started pass or the scooter.
Tony, do you have to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
You want to take a break and go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Let's keep the tape running. Is there a bathroom out here?
Yeah, there's one down the hall.
Detective Royer, why don't you stay here?
All right.
You said you were on Central Park West and a block up when you saw the van and come out of 100th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And the people looked at it and saw a green van and said what?
Green truck, they said probably one green truck from people that work inside Central Park. And when it turned around, turned to the corner and turned to make a sharp turn, catch us, we all started running. That's when the scooter.
When you saw the van come out of the park, it went uptown on Central Park West.
Yeah.
Show us what it did on the...
It was going straight up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to 102nd and made that turn real quick.
It turned into 102nd Street.
Yeah.
But did it stop then?
Yeah, it stopped then. There was a police scooter on that side. The police scooter was still going and tried to turn around.
Right. What did everybody do? What happened when the van
stopped? When they popped, everybody stopped.
What happened when the van stopped?
And two DTs, like undercover cops, came out.
Okay.
And they said freeze. Nobody move, or not. I think they get shot, something like that. I don't know exact
And
word.
when they said freeze, don't move, what did everybody do?
Stop.
Did everybody stop?
Yeah, and then
What did you do when they got out and said
Stop.
don't move? You stopped?
yeah.
And then the police came
after,
over
after
for
he
you?
said all that freeze, don't move, all that. Then I told him, I said, let's get the fuck out of here. Everybody started running. I said, we turn around the corner.
So everybody, the police jump out, they say freeze, don't move, and everybody runs like crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, where did you run?
Everybody went together. Turned around the corner together. Everybody still running up the block.
What street was that?
First, running up the block. I passed. Then I was like in the back. Honestly, I was slowing. I was just jogging first. Then we turned around the corner. I just passed everybody. And then when I was running up the block on myself, passing everybody, I see a police scooter right next to me. So I looked back and I see everybody running back towards Central Park.
Everyone had been running down the street that you were running on.
Running,
and you
yeah.
were toward the front of, you were
In the front of the
front of the crowd. And when you turned around,
Everybody started running
everybody had
back.
started to run the other way. There was a police scooter that had gotten up near where you were.
Yeah, it was still running. It was still running right by me.
And did the
On
scooter
sidewalk.
turn?
And the scooter kept on going. Because I stopped behind the van. There was 3 vans parked right behind each other, and I stopped.
Were you on the sidewalk or on the street?
Yeah, on the sidewalk. I just stopped, and the scooter kept on going. He probably thought I was still running up the block. So I jumped in the basement, fell down in the basement. I just stood there. And then I heard the scooter come right back down the out. That's when I got up and I started running. I was just bugging on my back. And I ran across the street. I tried to open the door. It was locked. And
Open the door to what?
To a building. And it was locked.
You're trying to hide from the police.
Yeah, and the lady said, she said, go back down in the basement and hide. Better off down there, you know, hide. I said, hell no. So I started walking up the block, walking real fast, scared. That's when it was these kids hanging out in the corner, sitting in a car, like listening to radio. And I sat there next to them, and I asked them, did they see anybody run by? You know, any kids run through here? They said, no. And they said, police chasing you? I said, yeah. This kid said, yo, you better get the fuck out of here, you know, before the police come, you know, come and arrest us too. I told them, shut up, man, I ain't coming to get you, man. That's why I started walking up the block. I was scared, and I started walking up the block. Then I cut down 103rd Street. I wanted to see who got arrested. And I looked on 102nd Street, and I said, and I only seen like one person just sitting on the floor. I said, and the man just standing up in front of him. So I kept on walking straight up on the west side of Central Park. Then I cut down 110, went straight down to 110th Street to the front of Schaumburg. Then I seen Al. I was talking to Al.
What did Al say to you?
That the cops was chasing him. When he split up from us, the cops was chasing him. And he got away. Him and everybody else got away. I word. And then I see Robinson there standing there. He got a sworn hand. Hand was sworn. He just standing there.
Did he tell you how it got swollen?
Nah, he didn't tell me. He just standing there. I said, sworn. I just looked at him. He was like this, sworn. I ain't say nothing. I just looked at him. I was talking to this other kid. And I said, we were just sitting there talking. I said, and then that's like, I said, oh, yo, somebody got caught. I heard somebody got caught. I forgot. And like, who? I don't know who. Somebody got caught. Like, where? What's that? Then I see Antoine coming out, Central Park. I see he was out of breath. I ran to him. Like, I slipped in mud. What is shit, yo? I was running like hell. I started laying like, I gotta go home, man. I'm gonna get in trouble, man. Look at me. So he ran across the street and went home. I stopped there. I said, oh shit. Then I looked and I seen two friends of mine, Gary and Tilson. They was walking back home. They was going towards home. So I started walking. I told everybody I'm gonna check the niggas out tomorrow. So I see you niggas tomorrow. I started walking with my friend, Tilson and Gary. They mans now. And we just walking, and then Tilson's like a brother to me. He's like almost a brother to me. Treat me like his little brother and stuff. And he like, you went wild, right? And I wasn't saying nothing like that. She did start smacking my head. You went wild and went out and start smacking my head. There's no idea. He like, I told you about them shit, man. Told you, man, start hanging out with all these niggas around here, man.
Who said that to you?
Tilson, Tilson. He said, I told you start hanging out with all these niggas around here, man. Be hanging out with them, hanging out with posses. So I said, I told you to stop.
Hanging out with what?
Like posse, like a whole bunch of kids, and I said, when we go to parties, be a bunch of us going to parties and all that stuff. And
Before that night, had you gone wilding before?
Huh?
When did you go wilding before that night?
It was last year.
When last year?
When they gave us the name Wolfpack.
When was that?
I don't know exactly. It was in October, I think.
Do you remember whether it was cold out or warm out? Or
Huh?
was it hot or cold out?
It was like kind of like a little bit.
Who did you go with and where did you go?
It wasn't the same. It wasn't these people. It was people this time from my block.
How many people were you?
Oh, it was like in 20.
And where did you go?
They went downtown. That's when we got split up. And when we was riding on the train, they was kicking windows out. And then when we got out the train station, cops tried to pull us back. They was calling and said, yo, come back over here, guys. And we all ran. And everybody started splitting up. But they got together. I ran to the west side.
That was when you went wilding before?
Yes, last time.
Did you beat anybody up?
Huh? They beat people up. Then we was on the train just kicking windows out. That's it. Just kicking windows.
But the people that you were with beat?
There was nobody in the car.
But other people who went wilding and you then beat some people up?
Yeah, they beat people up.
And before that, had you ever gone?
Huh? And then I stopped going. But I be with a group of guys and we go parties. You know, go out to parties, and we be in there like that. And that's when the kid told me, Tilton told me, you better start hanging out with guys like that. You go to parties, be shootouts and all that stuff.
Why did you go into the park on April 19th? Did you go in to go wilding?
Huh? Yeah, I ain't go wilding for a long time. Since that day. I ain't go wilding since that day.
So
I just started just to go.
Because it's fun?
Huh?
Did you have fun that night?
That night
Yeah.
that I went,
Yeah.
the only beat, take windows out, that's what we
No,
did.
I'm talking about in Central Park.
No,
You didn't have fun?
I didn't like the stuff they was doing.
Pardon me?
I didn't like that kind of stuff they was doing.
You went
Yeah,
into the
before-
park to beat people up that night.
Yeah,
And when you went into the park, you beat people up. At least you just told us that you kicked the bum.
yeah,
So isn't that what you went in there to do?
yeah, but I shit wasn't fun. Like niggas other shit used to do.
Like what?
Before I went wilding, the last time we wilding, people used to come back. They used to go wild. They used to come back. They used to tell us wild stuff.
Like what?
Like they picked the bum up, throw him down the hill, like throw him down some box and all that stuff like that. Beat the bum up, strip him, leave him naked and all that stuff.
And when other people had done that before?
Yeah, they used to tell me that, and I was thinking, oh, I said crazy fun.
So you thought that would be fun if you had done that?
Yeah, but they just went and they didn't really do nothing.
You didn't think they did enough in Central Park that night?
Huh?
You don't think that they did enough?
Throw rock at a taxi cab, don't do nothing to a biker and all that stuff. I didn't think that was nothing.
And what about the bum?
That bum wasn't nothing either.
So the reason you didn't have fun that night was because you didn't do enough.
Huh? To me, that's it.
I don't have anything further. It's now 9:45 and the interview is over. Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney in New York County. I'd like to ask you some questions about what happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989. Before I ask you those questions, I'm going to advise you of your rights with respect to any statements you might make. You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand? Right. We're trying to record and to film whatever answers you give and whatever questions I ask. It helps us if you can answer the question out loud. When I ask you, you have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning, and to have a lawyer present during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided for you now, free of charge, before any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
Having advised you of your rights, are you willing to tell the truth at this time about what happened in Central Park on April 19th of 1989?
Yes.
All right. Let me just stop for a second. You can see that this is a fairly small room, and we have a video camera set up and tape. Here to work that equipment is a video technician. I'm an assistant district attorney. My name is Elizabeth Lederer. Also present is another assistant district attorney, Tim Clemens. Also present is a Detective Arroyo. Have you met the detective before?
Yes.
All right. What is your name?
Jono Smith.
Okay. Could you try to speak up a little bit?
Jono Smith.
How do you spell your first name?
Jomo.
And how old are you?
15.
There's a woman sitting on your left. Who is that woman?
My mother,
And what is her name?
Jacqueline Johannes.
Right. Ma'am, could you please state your name and address?
Jacqueline Johannes.
And are you related to the gentleman to your right?
Yes, he's my son.
Okay. Earlier in the evening, Jomo, did the detective take a statement from you?
This one?
Earlier this evening, did they take a written statement from you?
Yes.
And at the time that they took that statement from you, were you advised of the rights that I've just advised you of?
Yes.
And you indicated that you understood those rights at
Yes.
that time? And after you were advised of those rights, you made the statement to the detective?
No.
Did they tell you what your rights were?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. And did they tell you your rights before you made the statement to them?
Yes.
So you knew the same rights that I just told you about, and you were willing to make a statement to the police?
Yes.
How old are you?
15.
Do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
Manhattan 58.
And what kind of a school is that?
Special ed.
What grade are you in?
9th.
And do you live
Yes.
is that apartment?
Yes.
And who do you live with there?
My mother and my 3 brothers.
Prior to coming in here tonight, were you asked whether you wanted anything?
No.
Did anybody offer you anything to eat or drink?
No.
Do you have a soda or an orange drink right next to you?
Yes.
And did somebody also give you something to eat?
Yes.
All right. How are you feeling?
Okay.
I'd like to ask you, please, if you could tell us what happened on the night of April 19th of 1989. And before I do that, let me just state so that it's clear for the record, it's now 5 minutes after 11 o'clock, and we are at the 24th precinct. Would you please tell us what happened on April 19th of 1989, starting at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock on that day?
And we was first in Taft, rounding up kids, right, in Taft first, right? And then we went to Schaumburg. That's actually across the street from Central Park, Schaumburg. And we met 15 other students, kids, at there. So we rounded up and we met in front of, then we went across the street to Central Park, the opening 110th Street.
Could I stop you for a second? You said we went from Taft to Schaumburg.
Yes.
Who's we?
The crowd.
Okay, when you did, where were you before you met the crowd?
Before I met the crowd, I was upstairs at my girlfriend's house at first.
Okay, who's your girlfriend?
Shabari.
And where does she live?
In Taft.
What building? The same building you're in?
Nah, I don't live in Taft.
Oh, I'm sorry. What building does she live in?
I don't know the building number.
Right. And what's her last name?
Briscoe.
Okay. Is she related to Michael Briscoe?
Yes.
What's her relation to Michael Briscoe?
Brothers and sisters.
After you were at your girlfriend's house, where did you go?
Downstairs, and that's when I met them in a park in Taft.
Did you go by yourself to the park at Taft?
Yes.
Right. Who did you meet when you got there?
I met my brother, Michael, Jermaine, my cousin, and Terrence, Raymond, the kids that I knew, and other kids that we didn't know, that I didn't know. So.
Let's start again. You said Jermaine. What's Jermaine's last name?
Robinson.
Okay, and that's your cousin?
Yes.
Did you say you met your brother there?
Yes.
Who's your brother?
Ramsey Smith.
Did you say you met somebody named Terrence?
Yes.
What's Terrence's last name?
Campbell.
And did you meet somebody named Raymond?
Yes.
What's Raymond's last name?
I don't know his last name.
Is the last name Santana?
I don't know.
Was there somebody else in that group that you knew?
That's it.
Other than the people you knew, how many people were there that you didn't know in the group?
Like around 11 or so.
And counting the people that you did know and the people that you didn't know, how many people were there altogether?
Like, from out to about 15 or so, or 16, like that.
Was there anybody sort of running this group?
Sort of.
Who was that?
Raymond.
Okay, that's Raymond, whose last name you don't know?
Yeah.
Do you know where he lives?
He lived on 119. That's all I know.
Okay, do you know what building or what apartment?
Nah.
What did the group decide to do?
Go to Central Park.
And why was the group going to go to Central Park?
To go beat up people.
Okay. Did somebody... Well, let me put it to you this way. You decided to go to the park to beat up people?
Yes.
And where did you go?
Central Park.
Where did you go? How did you go into the park?
We walked.
Which street did you take?
110th.
And did that go right into the park?
Yes.
You're wearing a dark sweatshirt as you sit here today.
Yes.
Was that the sweatshirt that you wore when you went in the park that day?
Yes.
Okay. Are you wearing the same trousers that you wore when you went into the park on
Yes.
that day? Could you just stand up for a minute so that we can have it on the video? All right. You have a blue shirt sticking out from under your sweatshirt. Were you wearing that as well?
Yes.
And what is that that's hanging down from your pants? Is that a belt?
Yes.
Okay. Everything that you're wearing that I just described, you were wearing on April 19th?
Yes.
I can't see from here what you're wearing on your feet. What kind of shoes do you have on?
Sneakers.
What
Black.
kind? Black sneakers?
Mhm.
What kind?
Reebok.
Were you wearing those sneakers?
No.
You were wearing different shoes?
Yes.
What kind of shoes did you wear on that?
Nike.
Nikes?
Mhm.
What color?
Red, white, and blue.
Thanks very much. You can sit down again. Where did you go when you went into the park?
When we went in the park, we went around to around the, what do you call that? On 110th, we went around this water. I forgot what they call it. And we went towards the garden, right? And we seen this man walking. So we said, we went up to him. We surrounded him, and he said, what y'all want? And then they said, no, leave him alone. I know him. And so we stopped, because they knew the kid.
You stopped trying to rob him?
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. When you went into the park, did you walk on the road or into the woods or on the grass?
On the road.
And where was this person when you first saw him?
He was walking towards near the garden, going out the exit on.
What did he look like?
Hispanic.
He looked Hispanic? Did he look well dressed or nicely dressed?
Yes.
Was he young or old?
Young.
Was he by himself?
Yes.
Did he have a bicycle?
No.
You say you surrounded him.
Yes.
Where did you go? Where did you stand?
I stand far away, not too close.
Okay, but you were with the group.
Yes.
And did anybody say anything to the man when he was surrounded?
No, they just said, they just looked at him and they just said, yo, leave him alone, I know him.
Who said I know him?
I don't know who said that.
Did anybody say this guy's name?
No.
In the group that you were with, did you see anybody by the name of Kevin Richardson?
No.
Do you know somebody by that name?
No.
Did you see someone named Steve Lopez?
No.
How about Altron McCrae?
No.
Excuse me, Antron McCrae.
No.
Was there someone named Al Morris?
No.
Do you know anybody by the name of Clarence Thomas?
No.
Did you see anybody by the name of Lamont McCall?
No.
The names that I am asking you about that you say you didn't see, are those names of people that you know?
No.
Right. So it's not as if you know those people and you didn't see them there. If those people were there, you wouldn't know it or not because you don't know them.
No, I know people by face. That's all I know them by. I don't know them by
But
name.
none of those names are familiar.
No.
How about Yosef?
No.
Do you know anybody by that name?
No.
After somebody said, leave him alone, I know him, what happened?
Then we left him and then we walked up the hill. We walked up the big hill. And as we went on the road and we seen a cop car. The lights was on and everything. And we scattered, we spread it out. And that's when half went somewhere and the other half went the other way. Like,
You said half went somewhere and half went the other way. Which half were you?
I was with one half that went in the woods. We went in the woods and we just started meeting each other a little bit.
Who did you go with when you went into the woods?
I was with my cousin and Terrence. Terrence.
Is that Terrence Campbell?
Yes. And yeah, that's it. The only two people I know.
When you say your cousin, who are you talking about?
Jermaine Robinson.
You were only with two people, or were you with more people that you didn't know?
I was with more people that I didn't know.
About how many people were you with?
Like 12.
Was it dark in the park?
Yes.
Do you know your way around the park well?
No.
Do you know where you were when you went into the woods?
No.
Did you see anybody on your way that was drunk before you went into the
Yes.
woods? You did see a drunk?
Yes. When we went on the road, we went on the road and we seen this old man, and then my cousin clotheslined him with his arm, and he fell, and other kids started rushing up to him, hitting on him, and it was just me and this two kids, me and this other kid that I ain't know. We helped them they left him in the street, so we picked him up and carried him and put him on the grass.
Was that before or after you saw the person that you surrounded and then decided not to rob?
After.
How much after?
Like you could say a half an hour.
What time was it when you went into the park?
Like about, you could say a good 9, between 9 to 9:30, you could say.
And how long were you in the park before this thing happened with the guy that you were surrounded and that didn't rob?
I don't know. It should be like around 9, like 9:15. So.
Well, you said you got into the park about 9:30?
Yeah.
Then how long were you in the park before that first episode happened?
The first part, like we say, like a half an hour. And the first person we had was like a half an hour ago.
And then how much went by until the guy that you talked about, the second guy?
The drunk man, it was like a good half an hour, yes. He said.
Did you have a watch on?
No.
What did your group do to the drunk man?
They clothesline him,
What does it mean to clothesline somebody?
like knock him down.
You're doing something with your arm?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Does it mean to hit the person?
Nah, like right here or somewhere up here. They clothesline him, he fell back.
Who did that?
My cousin. Jermaine Robinson.
Does Jermaine wear gold fillings in his mouth?
Yes.
Right. Where does he wear gold fillings? His front two teeth. Did you say anything when he did that?
No, we ain't saying that, but until the kids started jumping on him and hitting him too hard, me and this other kid said, no, leave him alone. And they wouldn't want to stop, so I almost had a fight with one of the kids. I pushed him, and I said, stop, leave him alone. And me and this other kid just picked him up and carried him and put him on the grass.
After he was clotheslined, some of the people kicked and hit him?
Yes.
How many people did that?
Like around 10, 11.
How many times did they kick and hit him?
A couple.
Was the man crying?
Nah.
Was he conscious? Did he look like he was moving?
He was moving, but he just like froze a little bit and he started moving. And we just picked him up and put him on the grass and he was moving.
Did you kick him?
No.
After you saw the drunk, did you see anybody on a bicycle?
Yeah, that was like you could say a good 20 minutes ago. We seen two people on a bike riding towards, and one of the other kids just tried to hit him and try to knock him off the bike, and they just got away. They just rode.
So that was the third thing that happened when you got into the park.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that you had nothing to do with the first thing.
No.
And you had nothing to do with the second
No.
thing, and you had nothing to do with
No.
Okay. What happened next?
After that, that's when we started walking, and then we kept hearing sirens, and so we was jumping in the grass. We seen a cop car.
When you heard the sirens and saw the cop car, you knew it was the police?
Yes.
And you were scared that the police would find you?
Yes.
You were afraid of the police?
Yes.
Were you afraid the police would get you in trouble for what you did to the bum and by
Yes.
surrounding that other guy?
Yes.
So you were hiding from them?
Yes.
When you ran into the woods, do you know where you were in the park?
No.
Was there a stream anywhere nearby?
No.
What did the area look like?
We was like on a road, and we just hid in the grass in the woods. It was just like plain area with trees and grass, and we just seen the road. That was it. Yeah, like a and a horse trail, the horses ride on. Right there, that's what we was on that.
Was that by the baseball fields?
Yeah.
What did you do when you were there?
We were just walking. After that, that's when we went in the baseball field. And then we heard kids saying, "Hey yo, we over here." And so that's when we seen them far away. And we started coming closer and closer until we got close together. We said, "Yeah, y'all are right," and stuff like that. And we got back together. And then we seen a police car. We seen a police car on the road.
What was the signal that they called to you?
"Hey yo."
What does that mean?
It means like we over here, or that was like we over here, that we know how our signal was. So if we was lost, we just say "Ayo" so we could find them. Like,
So the people that you met up with then were the same people that you had been with
yes.
at the beginning?
Yes.
Was anybody missing?
Yeah, a kid with a with some kind of MCM jacket.
What's an MCM jacket?
It's like a velvet with leather lines on it, and it said "crazy" something on the back. He was missing some other kids. I ain't know.
After you were rejoined, what did you do?
That's when we heard the siren, the cop siren. We ran, we scattered, some scattered again, like 5 scattered, and the rest of us ran towards the benches, and we just stood there in the dark. There wasn't no lights. We stood in the dark, we stood there, and the cop car didn't see us, so it left. And that's when we just went on, and then we jumped down the
When you say you went on, where did you go?
we went to the what they call that when the cars go down the hill in Central Park.
Are you talking about the transverse?
Yeah, the transverse. We climbed down there, and we got across, and we climbed up the wall again. And that's when we was near the reservoir, I think it was, where the joggers jog at around.
Mm-hmm.
We was over there. And then that's when that's when we seen this jogger, one jogger. He said we got him. He had a black or blue suit on, and he said, and they got.
Is that a running suit or a business suit?
A running suit. So we seen him, and so they said yo, and they grabbed him, and they punched him up, and they got him down there. They punched him again. And that's when he got away. They said, "You got money, you got money." And he said no, and he got away.
What did you do?
Nothing. I was just right there. I ain't do nothing.
So this is the 4th thing that group did, and you didn't do anything?
Nope.
What did they do to the jogger?
Punched him.
Where?
In the face, in the arm.
Who punched him?
I think my cousin, Terrence. Yeah, that's it.
Did they hit him with something or just
other
their hands?
kids. Just their hands. I know.
Did you hit him?
No.
What happened next?
After that, they was waiting for another jogger to come. That's when another jogger came, and they said, "Hey yo," they was throwing rocks at him. He said, "What y'all?" Like a curse word. He said.
Well, yeah. Why don't you just tell me what he said?
He said, "What the fuck y'all doing?" And the cop and the man said, "Yo," and they was running after him. And he said, "Y'all want to race?" And that's when he just ran fast.
Right. Go back for a second to the jogger that you saw before. When you got near where the path is for running, it was dark?
Yes.
And are there some lights on
Yes.
the path there? Did you hide in the brush?
Yeah, in the bushes and stuff, yeah.
And where did you hide?
I was hiding next to this kid, Michael Briscoe. He called me over, and we was hiding together. Cause he ain't hit nobody, and I ain't hit nobody. And that's when we were just hiding. There was just like, they was up close to the jogging path, hiding behind the trees. But we was further down. So that's when they was calling. That's when they got the man.
Were you sort of hiding like in ambush?
Yeah.
Were you being quiet so they wouldn't hear you?
Yes.
When that first jogger came by, did anybody take any property from him?
Nah.
Did he have a headset?
Nah.
Any money?
Nope.
Jewelry?
Nope.
Right after the first jogger, then there was a second jogger.
Yes, that was the one that ran.
And that the other people in your group couldn't keep up with?
Yes.
What happened next?
Excuse me. After that, that's when, another jogger came along. And it was...
What did that jogger look like?
He was like... I don't know.
What color hair?
I think blonde.
You think, but you're not sure?
Yeah, I think. I'm not too sure.
Why aren't you sure?
Because I was down low. I wasn't all the way up there.
What was that jogger wearing?
Like, I think tights, I think. Or, yeah, I think tights, I think.
Anything else?
That's all I know.
What happened when that jogger came?
They beat him up. So,
Who beat him up?
let me see. I don't know their names. I don't know if it was my cousin that time. Cause I ain't know the other kids. I know kids was beating them up, but I ain't know them. That time, I ain't know them.
What'd you do?
Just stood down there with Mikey, that's all.
Who beat him up?
I don't know him. Those
What did you see them do?
They was just hitting on them like that, just hitting on them.
You're showing hands and fists. Is that what you saw?
Yeah.
Where were they hitting?
Like in the face, the body. That's it.
Do you know what the shirt was? Try to think, what was the color of the shirt?
Of the man?
Of the person who was getting beaten up?
Nah, cause they was like all crowding on him. Like crowding around him and hitting on him. I couldn't see.
How long did this struggle take?
Like 10 minutes, 7 minutes.
Was Jermaine still with you?
Yes.
What was Jermaine doing?
I don't know. He was not exactly with me. He was in the area, but I ain't see him too good. I ain't know where he was.
Was Michael Briscoe with you?
Yes.
And Raymond?
Nah. Raymond wasn't with us. Yeah, now I know. Raymond was up there beating up the man. Raymond.
Beating?
The man, the third or the second, no. The man that was beating up, we was just talking about. They was beating him up. Raymond.
What were the people wearing that were with you? The ones whose names you don't know?
They had like, I know one cat that like, nah, I ain't see him. It was a kid with a red jacket, a colorful jacket.
What was colorful? Lots of different colors?
Not like just 3 colors, red, blue, and white. And one had a beige jacket.
Do you know someone named Corey?
No.
What else did the people look like? Was there anybody who had a style cutting their hair?
Yes.
Letters?
Yeah.
What did that person look like?
He was dark-skinned and tall.
And do you remember what he had cut in his hair?
A D and an L, I think.
Pardon me?
A D and an L in the back.
Okay, and it was carved into his hair?
Yeah.
What happened next?
And after that, that's when we was walking, then we seen another jogger. And that's when we heard cops coming, and we ran out the park. But the cops wasn't coming after us that time. It was me, my brother, we ran. That's when we heard the cops, and the other jogger came. That's when I didn't see what happened then. That's when my cousin was in there, and all of them.
What did that jogger look like?
I don't know what he looked like. I ain't see him. Because I ran already. I already ran. Me and my brother. I told my brother to come on, and we ran. It was me, Michael, and my brother. We ran, but Michael ran a different way. And then me and my brother ran out the park, and we ran to the bench, and we seen 2 Puerto Rican kids right there sitting on the bench. And that's when we just stood there and waiting for the other kids to come out the park. So we waited probably 15 to 10 minutes for them to come out. So they came out, and that's when we was all together. And that's when we all walked up. We walked up Central, Morris Central, whatever, West Central Park. We walked up there for a while. We walked down. We walked down, and then we heard a cop car, and we all scattered again. And that's what we heard. That's when it was just me, my cousin, and that tall kid with the graffiti all in his hair, and 2 other kids I ain't know. And that was it. And then we walked towards Columbus, Amsterdam, and Broadway to the train, the number 3 train.
Let me stop you for a second. Before you came to the precinct, did you hear about what happened to a woman in Central Park?
Yes.
And you read about it in the papers?
Yes.
And you heard about it on the radio?
Yes.
You see it on the news?
Yes.
Great. And from talking to people, well, did you talk to anybody about it? Anybody mention it in your neighborhood? No? Nobody said a word?
No, not that I know. No.
From what you heard, you knew that there was a woman who was sexually assaulted in Central Park?
When I heard on the news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That she was raped?
I didn't know that she was raped and then like
You knew that she was sexually assaulted?
Yeah.
Because they said so on the news, right?
Yeah.
And you knew that she was a jogger?
I guess so. I don't know. That.
Didn't you hear it on the news?
Yeah, I heard on the news. I ain't heard about the job. I just heard that she got sexually raped, something like that.
In the park?
Yes.
So you knew that was why you were asked to come to the station house today, right?
That's what I thought.
And did that make you nervous?
Yes.
Jamal, I have to ask you, the reason we're trying to take a statement today is, and the reason we're recording it is so that we can get down exactly what you say happened.
Yes.
Right? We'll get it down exactly the way I say it and exactly the way you say it.
Yes.
The reason that we are going to the time and the trouble of doing this is because we want to know what happened in Central Park.
Yes.
We ask you if you want to tell us the truth about what happened.
Yes.
That's not just to be polite. The reason we say, will you tell us the truth about what happened, is because if you don't want to tell us the truth, then we would be just as happy if you didn't tell us anything. Okay? It takes up your time, and it takes up our time.
Yeah.
And in the end, it doesn't do you any good to have a lie recorded on the tape and on the video. And it takes up our time when we don't want to spend our time that way. We have other things that we have to do.
Yes.
So I have to tell you, it seems really hard for me to understand that you went into the park that night with the idea that you were going to rob people. That was what the group went in to do. The first person that gets surrounded, you say you didn't do anything.
Yes.
The bum that everybody jumps on and starts to kick and give a hard time to, you didn't have anything to do with that.
Nope.
The next guy,
None.
you didn't have anything to do
Nope.
with. The joggers, you didn't have anything to do with. And as if by a miracle, you see the jogger And you just leave the park all of a sudden, just like that, you're done?
Yeah, that's what we did. Because we heard sirens and cops and stuff. And that's why we ran out the park.
Well, why were you afraid of the police if you behaved as well as you claim you did?
Nah, because if they would have said they would have questioned me and stuff, they thought I would have probably done something. And I was scared because I didn't want to get in no trouble or nothing like that. And you know how they just probably guess that you done it because you got caught and stuff like that. And I was just scared. I just ran out.
You're saying to me you guess that you know how you get caught and people just guess you done it?
Yeah, that's it. They just probably question and say, did you do this? And you say no, and they probably won't believe you, stuff like that.
Well, you have told us that you went into the park to rob people.
Yes.
And then you have proceeded to tell us that every time the group did something to rob people, everybody in the group participated but you.
Not everybody.
Not everybody participated in every instance.
Yeah.
But the group as a whole moved through the park, one after the other after the other. That's why, you admit that's why the group went there, right?
Yes.
That was the whole purpose. You're going in to rob people.
Yes.
To cause a little trouble?
Yes.
Raise a little hell?
Yes, you can say.
All right. So you admit that that's why you went there, and then everything that happens, you say, except I didn't do that.
Yes.
Well, it seems a little funny to me, and I have to tell you, it doesn't quite make sense. If that's what you went into the park to do, then I have trouble with you saying that that's not what you did.
Oh, no, some kids didn't do nothing. Some kids didn't hit nobody. It was some of the kids that wanted to do it. Some kids didn't want to do it. They just wanted to come to watch and stuff like that. That's all.
The first time you heard the police, you ran into the woods?
Yes. Yes.
Right. And then after you hid from the police and they went away, then you saw the joggers?
No, we seen the old man.
You saw the old man?
Yes.
And then you saw the joggers?
Yes.
Right. After you saw the joggers, you saw two joggers, and then...
No, two people riding a bike.
All right, you saw two people riding a
Yes.
bike, and after that you saw the joggers?
Yes.
How many different joggers did you see?
3, 4, 4.
Okay. Were you lying in ambush for each of those people?
Yes.
Okay. And then you heard a siren?
Yes.
And you say, all of a sudden, that's when you left the park?
Yes, because that's the only time we kept hearing sirens. We were seeing cars coming around, back and forth.
You didn't decide to stay in the park and hide then? You decided that you would leave the park?
Yes, because there was an opening right there. And me and Michael, we were saying, we're going to get out, because we don't want no more. Because they was going to keep on going. And we was telling them, stop. We was going to leave. So me and Michael seen the opening. And after that, and I called my brother, and we seen the opening. We ran out.
Who left?
Only person I know left that was me and my brother. Because we left, because Michael ran somewhere else. Because that's when we was hearing sirens in the Central Park. And we were seeing lights and stuff like that. So we ran out, me and my brother. Because me, Michael, my brother ran together. But he split it up. And me and my brother ran out the park, sat on the bench. And that's when we seen kids, because everybody started running. And we seen two kids sitting on the bench. They was with us. They was on the bench. And then me and my brother came and sat on the bench with them. And we was waiting for them to come out the park.
How much time went by before they came out of the park?
Like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
And who came out then?
Almost everybody.
Who?
Like my cousin Raymond, and Terrence, and the other kids that I ain't know.
And what did they do when they came out of the park?
No, they just sat on the bench. They started wiping their sneakers. They had mud on their sneakers and stuff.
Did they have mud on their clothes?
Yes, they had mud on their clothes.
A lot?
Nah, not that much. Like spots and stuff.
But you noticed it?
Yes.
Did you smoke any crack before you went to the park?
No.
You do any cocaine?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Smoke any pot?
No.
Drink any alcohol?
No.
Were you straight and sober when you went?
Yes.
Were you wearing a coat that night?
No.
That was as much as you were wearing, just the...
Yes.
T-shirt and the sweatshirt? Did you see anybody wearing a black coat?
Was it leather or something like that?
Did you see somebody wearing a black coat? I mean, you can tell me if you saw a black leather coat.
A blue leather coat.
You described somebody who was wearing their hair very short that had initials.
Yes.
What kind of coat was that person wearing?
A light coat.
A light coat.
Yes.
When you said that you moved the bum off the road, and you did that with somebody,
Yes.
who was the person that you did it with?
I don't know.
Was that somebody named Corey?
I don't know. Yes.
When you were done beating up on the bum, was he moving on the street?
Yes.
He was still moving?
Yes.
Was he making any noise?
Yeah.
What was he saying?
He was moaning, that was it.
And he was laying on the ground?
Yes.
Jamal, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I just want to make sure that we have your story exactly right, because we have it on film, and this is going to be it, okay?
Okay.
You're telling us that you went into the park that night
Yes.
to commit robberies.
Yes.
And you're telling us that incident after incident, one after the other, all in a row, you had nothing to do
No.
with any of the robbery attempts.
No.
And just by a huge coincidence, you happened to leave the park just at the time that the woman jogger, after those other joggers, is when the woman jogger came around who was assaulted last night.
Oh, I ain't know nothing about no woman jogger. I ain't seen no woman jogger.
You see someone with blonde hair?
Yeah, man. That was it.
You want us to believe that you left the park just before this woman was assaulted. Is that what you're saying?
It wasn't no, I ain't seen no woman.
You're saying that you didn't see a woman who was
No.
assaulted in the park last night?
No.
You didn't hear anything about it from anybody?
No.
None of the guys that you were with told you?
Nope.
Even someone like Raymond didn't tell you?
No. No, I ain't see Raymond. I ain't see Raymond.
You told us that Raymond came out of the park 15 minutes later when you were on the bench.
Oh, yeah. He did. But I just talking about when everything, when we all came back, when we all split it up. Because nobody seen
Let me
it.
just ask you, Jamal, not in 10 minutes, not at this particular time, did anybody on the street, other than the radio and the television, any of the people that you know on the street say anything to you about this woman who was
No.
assaulted? Okay, so then don't say, oh, I didn't know you were talking about this particular time. You're telling me nobody said it at all, period.
Nobody.
When Raymond came out of the park that night, you said it was 10, 15, 20 minutes after you had
Yes.
last seen him. He didn't say anything to you about it?
No.
So your story to us is that you had nothing to do with any of these
No.
robberies. I have no further questions. It is now almost 11:45. This interview is now concluded.